even like stuff like saving to a game or writing or loading a save game or anything like that could also get really crazy. If I had to pick out the hardest thing to do in any kind of programming, it would be networking. If you do networking programming, because that stuff gets crazy. Like my lecturer used to work for Ninja Kiwi, who did the Bloons Tower Defense games.
Yeah.
And she worked on the. It was one of the online ones. I was like Battle something. It was the specific one she had done. Basically, it was like it was a multiplayer variant of Bloons Tower Defense, but because the code was always, because it was an always online game for the purpose of like developing the game, you know, you had to have servers up and there was an active player base and all that stuff. And you, as a coder, you just weren't allowed to touch anything, because even if you fuck up something in the slightest way, the entire thing could just blow up. And if it was an MMO scale, so everything could just and then all be gone. So I mean, I think she had to like check with her superiors like every time she wanted to fix a bug or something, just because it might destroy everything.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you think like a game of like Warcraft, World of Warcraft, where you've got how many thousand players online at a time with all this 10 years of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw a meme comic thing yesterday saying, yeah, it's like an animated GIF of some guy picking up something off a shelf and the whole shelf falls down, and the title of the post was, yeah, when you try to fix legacy code. It's like, nah, don't touch it. Don't touch it unless you know that for sure that the 1 to 0, changing a 1 to a 0 won't break something else that you just don't know exists.
That's the thing. World of Warcraft's actually a fantastic example, because that's the thing is, as well as even, because like you were saying, messing with old code can destroy everything, but the same can be said about because especially when you're working on something in World of Warcraft, you always have to, not only do you have to design your code so it won't mess with anything that already exists, but you also have to design your code so that it is openly accessible for the next expansion if they need to rewrite something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I do not know if I could work on an MMO to that scale. That sounds very difficult.
I know it.
In fairness, I imagine they have like hordes of programmers working on it. You wouldn't just be tasked with single-handedly saving.
Oh yeah. It also depends how their work process actually is, because they might just have the collective, or they might just have each individual programmer work on their tiny little segment of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It also depends on how they've actually set that up as well. Both of which are viable options. You can have the collective horde that kind of amalgamates around the collective horde of programmers that amalgamates around the entire code base and just slowly fixes, like, you know, does everything in massive chunks. Or you could have like the individuals that just kind of chip away at each of the problems.
Sure.
So what does everyone else do? Out of curiosity. I think we've asked this before.
Yeah, programming here. Programming and like electronics design. Such things.
Yeah, I'm a little more removed from the hardware. I help a college maintain their admissions software system. So.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were like a systems analyst then, or?
Yeah, data analyst. Yeah.
Data analyst. Okay.
I guess I'd be an end user. Admin by trade and raw material coordinator by job type.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the most complex coding I need to do nowadays is in Excel and formulas.
Oh man, you can get so deep into that though.
True.
Yeah, I'm joking as it, but you've seen some of the stuff we've had to design.
Oh, I would not be surprised. Yeah. I don't know. There's this Chandu guy that does these dashboards that my dad just raves about, and always making these like 50 sheet workbooks that all glom down into some dashboard sheet that tells you everything. It's insane how complex you can make it if you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is as well, is actually, on a side note, is at the college, I'm actually quite surprised because there's quite a few of us in the class that are working on this final project and are like, yo, I think I'm probably going to, like, if this works out, I'm probably going to take this further and stuff like that. Which is always really cool to see. I can't wait to play their games and things when they're done.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pretty good. No doubt they're going to look terrible, no offense to them, because none of us are artists, but
Well,
functionality-wise.
I mean, have you ever looked at the source code for nibbles.bas?
I have not.
It's obviously QBasic, so it's
Nibbles?
yeah, little snake game, just the snake eating the numbers.
Oh yeah.
But they've got like wall drawing in ASCII, snake drawing, how you calculate a collision, this kind of thing. How do you calculate two-player score, three-player score? Like who got it first, who hit him head on, that kind of thing. So
Fair enough.
It
Might
is
as well check that.
it is kind of amazing when you finally dig into it. You realize I don't remember if they calculated on character brightness, screen brightness, at a certain location on the 80 by whatever size screen, but it is really interesting how they calculate what a collision is, from what I recall.
I mean, if you want to talk amazing, have you guys ever heard of a little game called Dwarf Fortress? I believe that's assembly, although I could be mistaken.
Wow.
Which is crazy because it's similar to that, where he's all done it as like ASCII, like there's no graphics to it. But I'm 90%. I'm not 90% sure. I think it is assembly though that he made that in, which is insane.
That would make sense, because that would be way, way faster.
It would be faster, but why would you write it assembly?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Mostly you don't have any overhead. If there's raw processing power, you actually work with the interrupts and the software registers and all this stuff. The hardware registers.
Yeah,
Then you're
but that's so specific for the particular architecture you're running it on, right?
well, yeah.
Gee.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking it up now and seeing the game is text-based graphics. Yeah, I know that much. Just seeing how it's made. Where's the design? Assembly not popping up on the website. No, I'm incorrect. He made the entire game in OpenGL and C++. Thought it was assembly.
Okay.
What is
Oh,
OpenGL? OpenGL is just a attacher for C++, I think. Right? I
Isn't
think
it?
it's just a code library.
I thought it was like the graphics engine for.
I know you guys think you're explaining it, but you're really, really not. As I say, I use them at the end. I don't care how they work. Haven't for 8+ years.
Oh yeah, as a renderer. Well, I'm trying to figure this all out myself because I actually don't think I've ever used OpenGL. So yeah, this is just a learning experience for me as well, figuring this all out. Because we use a little attacher called SFML at the moment, which is kind of it basically for the language. It basically goes, I want to make games, and then it's like cool. To put it bluntly, and that's what we would do.
Okay. Graphics libraries kind of drive me crazy, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
The fact that they just exist and are a thing. I don't know.
Why? Why shouldn't they be a thing?
Well, they should, but coding with them just, I don't know.
They're a necessary evil.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, it could be worse. I'm really glad that there are all these like applications for programming that make your life easier, like SFML, where I could just go, because it helps chunk down so much of the more nonsense stuff. Like I could go, I want a timer in my game. Can you do that, SFML? And it goes, aye, sure, lad. Let's get that handled. Which is nice. Instead of me having to go through the process of figuring it. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Alrighty, guys. So, when you guys slaughtered the ninjas and investigated the other airship that they came on, you guys found this. You guys found out that some of you are famously wanted.
Like there's wanted posters nailed up all over our ship now.
No, some of the one of the ninjas was carrying it, and also Ragga the hag had one on her, and she was leading the ninja towards you guys.
Through magical means, I imagine.
Well,
Yeah, stare through time and find us or something.
There's a sizable reward out for Adrian and Corvus and Phoenix.
That was the old Phoenix, not the new froghead Phoenix.
Yeah.
You cannot prove they're the same person.
True. Yes. So, okay, Phoenix might be able to go out with his frog head disguise, but Adrian and Corvus might be in a bit of trouble if they go out and about. So the gnomes here have set up a little forge a distance from the airship. They're working to repair the engine that got the cow mangled through it. Adrian herself, like during the first day that you guys were on the island after the ninja attack, went over to explore the other half of the island here. And during that time, you saw her walking around and dropping these purple crystals into the water around the island. But she has once again vanished back to that other half of the island. Adrian, do you explain what these crystals are doing?
I suppose so.
Okay.
I mean, at some point I would probably come back, and what I can't explain is how nobody noticed me actually going around and doing this.
I just said that you were, so...
Oh. Okay, so I would let everybody know that these crystals,
Okay.
I'm basically building some sort of shield around the island so that no one else can get onto it from outside.
Okay. So there we go. There's an approximation of where this barrier is that Adrian decided to put around this island. So what are... let's see. Okay, after the barrier gets put into place, like the next day, there is a flash out towards the north, above the ocean, and a guy will come plopping down and plop into the ocean. He will look around in desperation and start to swim towards you guys' island in a panic.
What does he look like again, sorry?
What's that?
What does he look like again, sorry?
He has on a long trench coat. He's got one of those pith helmets on. He's got goggles and a beard.
Okay.
Okay. Now, is he able to get through my barrier?
No. He is going to kind of reach where the barrier is, and then exclaim in pain as he swims into it, and then he'll kind of try to move his hands over it and try to find a weakness.
Lads, we got a live one.
I'll come walking over.
Adrian, you are doing your thing in the cave, in that other side of the island.
Am I?
At this point, I think so.
Okay.
Phoenix kind of hops along over. Tries to work out why he's hopping when his legs are the same and shrugs. Clearly it's frog mentality. Hello. Do you need a hand? He kind of stretches his fingers. Oh. This kind. Okay. Flicks out his tongue just to see if it distracts the person.
You're still a frog.
I haven't been told I'm not a frog yet, so yes. I assumed it was only temporary, but I was never told it faded away in the entire day, so...
We might need to get that looked at, my friend. But first of all, Professor Razzled the Fourth, what are you doing down there?
I'm running away. Is anything pursuing me?
I look
You're
over.
not running, you're quite clearly swimming. Running is this. Phoenix runs on the spot to demonstrate. Swimming is this. He jumps into the water and starts splashing around. Very different.
I'll look behind him and see if there's anything.
Okay. You look behind him, and coming out of another poof of
Oh.
Is a humongous caterpillar-like creature with an enormous headdress, and it starts to swim rapidly towards this individual.
Great.
I don't know, man. You look like you're, for lack of a better term, it looks like you're in a pretty fucked. Pretty fucked.
Can you let me in, please? It's gonna be... No!
Sure. Phoenix goes over and picks up the crystal, removing it from the just this one that's nearby. It's a bit, and then he kind of tosses it a bit further out beyond the guy, seeing if that moves the barrier and suddenly lets him in.
Interesting. Okay.
Of course, it's going to be hilarious if it just basically, as the crystal flies back, the force field goes with it, and he just gets slapped back 20 feet.
Yeah, he will exclaim as the barrier pushes him back some more towards the advancing, swimming caterpillar creature.
Phoenix?
Silver, I know it looks like it might be my fault, but I've learnt in these situations to always blame Adrian. Somehow this is her fault. I bet she even was the one responsible for these weird crystals. Somehow I just know it.
Hey, yo, Adrian! Adrian!
Do I hear this?
Sure.
She comes out of the cave.
Is this your fault?
What my fault?
I think you'll find that our friend Professor Oswald the Fourth has found himself in a pickle. Can you help our friend out?
That's not a pickle, that's quite clearly a sea serpent. Caterpillar thing. Not a pickle. Pickles are smaller and tasty.
I mean, we don't know how that thing tastes. You never know.
You haven't eaten one before? Oh, they're... Bleh. Phoenix pulls the face.
Put your salted cucumber away.
I don't think we have any salted cucumber left. I'll check the stores. No, wait, we need to rescue this guy first. Phoenix starts walking towards it, remembers that, yeah, there's a rescue mission going on, and turns back towards the person. Can you shut the crystal-y things off?
Can I? Oh boy. I didn't actually think about that.
That man is like on the edge of his existence right now, and we're all just kind of moseying around on the land like, oh, what's going on, lads? It's just a man.
Can you reach a hand through from your side?
That would not work. I yell, or rather, call over to him, and I will run across. And I have an idea.
Adrian, if you didn't have a plan for how to let anything out of this weird crystal thing, what was the plan when we eventually had to, leave?
Oh, we can get out, she says, immediately jumping into the water and passing through the barrier, and finding herself stuck on the other side.
I just look at Phoenix and give a massive sigh.
I'll look the other way if you look the other way, and we could just say that it was a horrible accident. His tone clearly implies he's joking, by the way, as he kind of shrugs and starts swimming out himself.
As lovely an idea as that sounded, I'd quite like to keep our wizard alive.
Which one of them?
The caterpillar catches up to the individual here that is begging for help and snatches onto his arm with its huge mandible jaws and starts to gnaw on it.
Why?
Corvus, where are you when we need you?
Can I just start picking up rocks and throwing it at the worm?
Sure.
Get out of here, worm! Roll a volley, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Roll a volley.
Cool. Where is my bar along the top? I think I have to select my character. There we go. Volley.
Oh, Silver, you have throwing knives.
I do have throwing knives. But, rocks and all that. 12.
Yeah,
So
that'll
then,
hit. That'll hit.
3, 4, 5, 6.
I think the rock goes right through its eye.
Alright, the rock is going to... the rock is going to hit it right on the mandible, and it's going to release the guy's arm in reflex, and give a shriek of pain. Phoenix, you want to call?
Sorry, that was me trying to remind myself of what it does. Would this count as an important creature to ask a question about?
Sure. Yeah. It would.
Okay. How can we scare this thing away without getting into a massive battle, basically?
As Adrian starts warming.
Does it have any obvious weaknesses that will send it scurrying? I guess would be the question.
And at this moment, Adrian's hands begin to glow orangish red.
Adrian, I can't believe I have to say this, but fire and water, bad idea when we're in the middle of the water. Phoenix literally sends his tongue out and just kind of slaps it across the face. It doesn't work very much because it's just a tongue, but it's like, think, woman, think.
Licks his eye. Yeah.
And while you guys are doing that, I pick up another rock. I'm just gonna be generally I'm not really gonna go out my way to be accurate with these. I'm just scrounging up rocks and just lobbing it in its general direction.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Phoenix, you recognize this creature as being an interdimensional scrounger of items. These things come from the very, very underworld of the plane of Sigil, and they have individual collections that they that they really really are compulsive about collecting. And how do we get away without a fight? Yeah. This one in particular, though, seems to be here on a particular mission of getting back this guy. So I'm not sure how you can get out of this without a fight.
I think it's fair to say there isn't one. In that case, because we're not really going to just hand the guy over to them. But that's a fair enough answer. It at least reaffirms what we need to do, and it gives me enough information to have Phoenix's next master plan. Maaug! There's a sea cucumber thing here that wants to steal all your treasure. You might want to stop it. We have our strange beasties too. After all.
Maaug hears you with its excellent hearing and peeks out of his ship, sees the humongous worm out there, and charges forward. Yeah! At the giant caterpillar creature. And
to note, Maaug is now outside the shield as well.
Yes. They're both outside. Oh, they're both outside the shield. Alright. They start to toss and turn and collide into the water. You know, it's like that cartoon thing where you can't see who is who. It's just a big ball of mist and smoke and claws.
And arms poking out in various random locations.
I would like to point out, even during all this, I still have not stopped throwing rocks. May I make another volley?
Yes, you may.
Oh dear. Oh no. Well, that might just be a mess, right? I don't know what that does.
Alright.
Get out of here, worm!
Yeah. One of your stray rocks collides
Sorry.
with the goggles of the guy that you're half-heartedly trying to save here, and cracks the lens on it. He staggers back, unconscious, into the water.
Has he been let go of, though?
Yes. Between the volleys and Maaug attacking the caterpillar creature, he is free. They are out this way by now.
Then I would
Phoenix,
like to
what
swim.
did I say about throwing rocks? Sorry, continue.
I would like to swim over and grab the guy and drag him back toward that small patch of land between the shield and the other ship, which the ninjas arrived on.
Fair enough.
And at this point, I would also like to reveal my hand as to other abilities which I managed. I know that I have. And yeah, I figure it's probably not worth the effort to try to keep it a secret for too long. And that said, I will pull a piece of crystal out and scratch a wide circle in the dirt around both the guy and myself. And then I imagine just kind of fall into it.
The two of you fall into this line that you drew on the rock of this little island, and poof back
And just disappear.
through the
From everybody's vantage, we just disappear.
Okay.
Alright.
Yep.
Cool. And then shortly after, I appear to be dragging this unconscious guy across the wooden log from behind everybody.
Ah, Phoenix, look what you've done. The man's out cold. You can't be throwing rocks like that, dude.
Phoenix points out that he has no rocks, kind of looks down at the rocks. The fact he's still in the water from when he was shrugging and walking over, and kind of glares whilst floating up and down. You just see a frog head kind of looking at you petulantly.
As you look over my figure, you could see that clasped between both my hands, I have a pile of rocks in my arm.
Yeah, the glare just, like, deepens. Bob.
It's just put these rocks down here.
You have that look, that Will Ferrell stance of snowballs in the arm. Now the dragon is still fighting it, is it not?
Yes.
Could I use my arcane arts with the passage I put there? Maaug charges out to maul, none tougher than our dragon after all. Facing the interdimensional thief, a brutal battle which I will keep brief. The worm is now Dragon.
Did you make that up just now?
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good.
Okay, roll for K9. Get the roll. Now, yeah.
I think damage and is he hurt in any way yet, or is it still too early for him to have taken any hits?
The Maaug is pretty tough. It doesn't look like he's taken much damage from this thing. He's doing far more damage to it than the caterpillar is doing to Maaug.
Yeah, and then I'll just increase his damage and make it easier for... I realise we don't technically assist the dragon, but whatever the equivalent is for NPC, I think it's creating advantage, is it? So basically I'll do that for the NPC.
Okay. Oh, not 1d0. Jeez. There we go. Alright, so between the last before. Alright, so between the volleys, between Maaug rushing out there and attacking this thing, it is now lying there on the kind of floating in the water, and it is unmoving and bleeding like a greenish ichor out onto the water as Maaug kind of flaps over it and gives a roar of triumph.
Woo! Come on! Maaug! Hold fire! Phoenix kind of like swims over, kind of holds it back. Think it through. If this guy has weird treasure that he's always hoarding, we can't just destroy him. We'll melt the treasure. You need to go inside and get the treasure. Good luck, buddy. Pats him back. I'll wait here. I mean, obviously, if I need to, I that was just based off of the knowledge you gave me. I don't actually know if they eat the treasure and it's gone forever, or if the treasure's still lining their stomach, or what's going on here. So I figure we might as well take the chance to see.
Best of luck with that.
Alright, so Maaug lights on the body of the floating worm and starts to tear into it with his claws and mouth. It gets that green ichor everywhere, and comes up with a handful of daggers in his mouth. That's a phone.
Okay. I've got a bag. I pull out the bag. That's not gonna wash out. Yeah. Well, good work anyway. Hey, we make a good team, Mo.
Maaug puts the mouthful of treasure into the bag and then dives back in for some more, and does that once or twice.
Yeah, Phoenix just is swimming in the water. As the bag gets heavier and heavier, you start to realise, maybe I should have got the weapons and he should have been the one holding the heavy bag of items. As he tries to desperately paddle enough to keep himself upright.
Make a strength defy danger.
Sure thing. Oh dear. Blub, 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 blub.
Okay, Phoenix, you sink out of sight as that bag gets heavier and heavier.
At that point, I'm gonna dive in and try and help him.
Why is everyone going outside the barrier?
Well,
Because Phoenix is a bad influence on me.
Can't blame Phoenix for everything.
For everything. Love that. Added.
Oh boy. Phoenix, as you fall down into the water and start to choke on the water, you take 5 damage as the water presses in on you and you start to gasp for air.
would the fact that he has a frog head mitigate that somehow? To some extent.
That's an interesting point. Oh, probably, knowing my luck, it'll be this point where the frog head enchantment fades away. You're like, no, really?
Fine. The lesser of 2 damages. 5 it is.
Honestly, I was quite happy with 5 in the first place.
Silver, make a dexterity defy danger as you try and rescue Phoenix here.
Yes, I shall. I am
Ghosts.
notably okay at that, hopefully. Oh.
You're terrible at this.
What? Alright, man.
Could I roll aid or interfere? Basically, that's me attempting to splash towards the person who's splashing towards me.
How exactly are you going to aid or interfere?
Basically, I'm going to try and paddle towards the person who's paddling towards me, realising we're both falling into the water, and kind of mutually try and pull ourselves.
Okay, go ahead.
See if you get less than a 6, man. Sad time. Oh!
Give me a second to check how many bonds we've had. I don't think many, because obviously we've just started. Yeah, none. So.
Yeah. Adrian, are you doing anything while this is going on?
I'm looking. I can't seem to figure out what I could do.
Could your unseen servant not just lift us out of the water?
That's kind of what I was going for, actually.
No, I stand by my comment that you're probably... Adrian's just too busy laughing her ass off that.
I do like the unseen servant thing, and I will leave the guy to recover by himself, since he is, as far as I'm concerned, safe. And I'll run over. I should come up with a name for him. Ooh. Best name and creative uses for unseen servant. God. Make a name in God. No, but I'll just cast him and tell him and order him to go pick up all 3 people and the bag if possible.
I don't think Maaug's drowning, in fairness. I think he's just content to keep gathering items and loot.
Right. 2 people and a bag. Which would
I don't think I've even reached the bag yet.
consume his load of 3.
Yeah. Phoenix, you could drop the bag.
I'll see if the servant freezes. 100% agreed, though. If it comes to it, I am. Dropping the bag of a dragon's hard-earned loot sounds like a really bad idea.
Alright, Adrian, you managed to conjure up an unseen servant that awaits your mental command to do whatever.
The command is to wade into the water, pick up whatever needs to be picked up in order to save both Phoenix and Silver.
Okay. Okay.
Either the both of them, the heavy bag of loot, I don't know.
Yeah. Alright. Phoenix, you feel... Okay, Adrian, you feel the unseen servant rush off into the water. It doesn't disturb the water, but you can feel it getting farther and farther away from you. Phoenix, you feel that bag of heavy loot suddenly get quite a bit lighter, and you are able to swim slightly more effectively now. So,
Calling it right now. That's what it is. So yeah, I paddle up, notice this weird splashing going on next to me, kind of pull up Silver as well. Or try.
I mean, I could just... I'm not carrying anything, I could just swim back to surface, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Between Silver being there helping you, Phoenix, and the bag getting quite a bit lighter, you managed to make it to the surface without further injury.
Would it have killed you to help a bit, Adrian?
Although the salt water does burn on your froggy skin.
Oh yeah. Blech. Felix is looking very pale, which, given he's green, is probably worrying.
Yeah, I just rush us back to the shore then.
Ow! 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 Why are you pushing us against the force field?
Adrian.
Wait, can we even pass through this again?
No. No, it's a one-way barrier. You can get out, but you can't get back through it.
Well then.
But Adrian will make various motions toward that little rocky island that she first disappeared at.
Phoenix shrugs. You done yet, Maaug? He says as he starts swimming over.
I think its stomach is empty.
Cool. We're going over to the other island for a picnic. I think.
Did you drop my treasure?
Of course not. I'm a good friend of yours, Maaug. I would never drop your treasure. I would hang on to it for life and limb. Quite literally in this case, he mutters very quietly. And you mean our treasure? We did half the work, we get half, well, maybe 25% of the reward.
Of course I meant our treasure. Yes, this is our expedition.
Yes.
No, the little one, the little green one there. Where I dragged this guy and I thumb over my shoulder toward the old man. Presumably still unconscious on the ground.
He is, yes.
Yeah. You see the hole there? You have to jump in.
Yeah, just a minute. Some of us like drag around for a moment. With no burning seawater. Plus, he kind of looks at Silver. You go first.
I just give him a thumbs up and go for it then.
Alrighty.
I'll avenge you if it's a trap.
Alrighty, Silver. You jump in and have a wrenching moment of disorientation as you plunge out sideways into a immense cavern of amethyst crystals with a pulsing portal gateway that you just popped out of.
I just look back at that portal, and you, like, if anyone decides to follow me, they will see that I just have a look of utter disgust at the stupid magical teleportation BS.
Phoenix is busy yelling down the portal, "Are you still alive?" Unaware that sound probably doesn't travel through the magical portal.
Oh, that's actually a good point. I hear that.
I don't think you would hear that, so Phoenix, you hear nothing.
What do you think, Maaug? Risk it?
What's up?
What do you think, Maaug? Risk it?
After a moment, yeah, he's gonna cautiously slither in.
I jump in right after him, kind of holding onto the dragon's back as if to say, if I'm going down, the dragon's going with.
The dragon lashes at you, grabbing it by the tail. But you also, the two of you will also poof into the immense crystal cavern.
Phoenix very quickly realizes that when you land sideways and you're on top of a dragon, that is a very painful way to land.
Ow! I have had it with this motherfucking teleportation on this motherfucking continent.
You travel this way off. Oh, Maaug, that's not a place dragons are meant to go. Oh, do you travel by teleportation often?
And not by choice. Also, wording is a very important thing. Let's go to the surface.
Maaug will glare at you, Phoenix, and say, "Get off me."
You're on me, mostly. Literally, my voice is 2 octaves, a lot of octaves higher.
enchanted on important things.
Yeah, we try and untangle ourselves, basically.
Alrighty. You do. Actually, Phoenix, make a charisma defy danger.
Alright.
Persuade the dragon to not crush you to death.
And of course, this would be the occasion where I don't manage to get there.
Alright. You managed to get disentangled without too much damage to each other. But Maaug is going to demand that bag of treasure that you've been holding on for him.
Okay, but we still share it, remember? You can just hold on to it for now.
Yeah.
Phoenix passes it across. He's honestly, the bag seems a whole lot less worth it now after all this ordeal. So yeah, parting with it to keep the dragon happy seems reasonable.
Maaug takes the bag in his mouth and starts to stomp out and back towards the surface. Alright. What do you guys do?
Well, having seen everyone disappear, I will start heading back toward the area where they are presumably going to emerge at some point.
Alrighty, you encounter the elderly gentleman draped over the log there, kind of like a wet dish rag.
Nice.
Adrian, of all places to leave him, did the one place where he could slide off into the water seem like the best possible option? Really?
No, I suppose not, I say, and I pick him up and drag him back toward the gnome gathering.
I mean, Adrian might just been leaving him out to dry. I don't know. He was in the water before.
Have you seen the guy's skin? I don't think it can get much drier.
Okay, that's fair.
Are the goggles still cracked?
They have.
Or were they cracked? Or were they just...
Nah, I did cry him. I know that much.
They haven't healed since whoever it was hit it with a rock.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was very tempted to go Digimon and start wearing goggles on my head, but if they're wrecked, I'll leave. Something to look into when I'm next in town, though. It'll go really well with the red nose and frog head.
It actually... Yeah. I can see that. So what's the plan now? We're just kind of lingering around the general vicinity. Is there anything we want to do left on this island, or?
Well, shouldn't we speak to him? Does anyone know about a first aid? I mean, I can do some bandages, but I think he's just tired.
I mean, I have a couple mysterious potions we could pour down his throat to see what happens.
And I too have a mysterious potion we could pour down his throat to see what happens as I pull out my honey mixture.
Let's attempt some other options first before we go to guinea pig on the poor sod we just rescued. Can I make a what is it? A lore or whatever the thing is? Give me a second. That will because I know it's like spell lore. That's the one. To try and work out enough medicine knowledge or what have you to try and get him upright.
You could. That would work. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Looking around among the herbs and vegetation that you can see, you find a coconut tree, and you know that coconut water is healthy to drink.
Phoenix kind of looks up at the really tall coconut tree, remembers being drowned, being slapped about by ninjas, being turned into frog heads, and just kind of sighs. Silver, little help. You get a coconut down for me, please. I just don't feel like I will make that climb and not fall on my head somehow.
I look up at the tree, I look back down at the frogman, I look up at the tree, I look at the frogman, I look up at the tree, and then I just gesture to your legs.
Phoenix pretends he's about to jump and then just kicks him for his sarcasm. He just does a high jump kick. It's not very effective, admittedly, but still.
Okay, I'll worm my way up this tree.
Alrighty, you manage to climb the tree successfully and get a coconut.
I make sure to throw it at Phoenix before I come back down.
Wait, what?
Phoenix, catch this.
That's a strangely fast coconut, he says as he attempts to catch.
Just copies it at you.
In fact, better yet, Phoenix just steps to the side and lets the force of the throw crack the coconut open.
That's a valid point.
Make a volley, see if you hit the rock.
The coconut whizzes right by Phoenix as he dodges out of the way and clonks Richard Jr. on the head.
Dick, no!
Richard Jr. goes sleepy by.
Poor guy.
Why on earth do these guys not stage a mutiny? Phoenix wonders to himself as he kind of goes over and... Yeah, I suppose now that the coconut's broken, I can make 2 smelling salts to try and wake somebody up, and starts working.
Question, did I kill that gnome, or is he just knocked out?
Well,
He's unconscious.
Okay.
well, I mean, this is like the 4th Richard Jr. that we've had. If I recall correctly.
So basically you're telling me it's Richard Jr., Richard Jr., Richard Jr., Jr.
Like Richard Jr., the 3rd. Well, it's like more like South Park, where we just keep reincarnating Kenny.
Kenny.
Oh yeah. That's headcanon now, that Richard Jr. is the same character, he just keeps coming back miraculously.
Yeah.
I actually had a character in a Mutants and Masterminds game who was very similar. He was just called Steve and he was entirely average, except he kept getting killed because he was in this school for supervillains, and he was just adamant that he wasn't actually killed and coming back to life, he was just him. Those things never happened. Every week he got murdered, mutilated, he burnt to a crisp, nuclear bomb dropped on him, and he would just come back the next day for school and just go, so what are we learning about today, guys?
That's great.
Alright, you guys managed to whip up a healing unguent from the coconut. and push it down the guy's throat, and he wakes up. Oh, hello. Did you manage to rescue me? Oh, thank you. Jolly good. Jolly good. Well, actually, did you guys try anything else out on him?
I did not. I was contemplating going to get Ragga, see if she could come up with something, but in case this coconut thing failed, but apparently it did not, so...
I'll probably be busy applying some bandages onto some of my cuts, but I also want to get offer up some of the interdimensional caterpillar to my cat, because we know an interdimensional cat, and I'm curious to see if I feed an interdimensional caterpillar, will it turn into an interdimensional cat if I do it often enough. So yes, that is something I'm going to do, but I very much doubt it does anything. It's just Phoenix experimental.
Excuse me, Mr. Brambleworth the Fourth. Would you like me to brew you some tea?
Oh, if you happen to have any, that would be marvelous.
I nod, and I'm going to go away, and I will, I'll put a pot on the fire. I'll get him some warm pompous leaf water, and I'm going to mix in my golden root with that. Because of course I am. It's all I ever do. And I will return with that and hand it to him in due time.
Oh, thank you. My name is Attenborough. At your service. Actually, quite thankful to be away from that creature.
I am glad to hear it. Attenborough? Are you the first Attenborough, or is there other Attenboroughs?
The Attenboroughs are famous.
Oh, really? I haven't heard of them.
Phoenix waves for Attenborough to go on. I mean, we're in the company of some very distinguished people here. Again, you can't tell if he's bullshitting you or not.
As usual.
Yep.
The Attenboroughs are famous. He will say that yes, he is Dravos Attenborough the 15th, and his family has made documentaries about monsters and various powerful creatures for all of those years that his family has been famous. You may have read some of the Manual of Monsters. We're publishing a new volume pretty soon, I think.
Oh, yes. You must mean Brambleworth the Fourth's Guide to Monsters. I think I've heard of that. Oh, you're... Sorry, again. Names, I get confused. Attenborough's Guide to Monsters.
Yes. You have heard of me. Wonderful. I knew I was famous.
I knew I was famous. Yeah, he did the clarification.
More importantly, Attenborough, have you heard of us? We're pretty famous too. Phoenix says, kind of holding out the wanted poster and smiling next to it. Then remembering he was a frog and kind of going, damn it.
I'm gonna snatch that. I don't want to get this this important individual to view us as the criminal scum that we are.
Oh, right.
I appreciate the sentiment, Phoenix, but perhaps another time.
Let's see. I do recall something about the... let's see. I do recall something about the demon realm being in an uproar.
Yep, that was me. Phoenix says, kind of dusting his tunic.
Oh, then yes, I have heard of you. Yes, you are quite infamous in some circles, sir.
Infamous? I'd have thought, like, getting rid of the demons would make me famous, not infamous. It's like, what do you have to do to get sainthood in this world? Honestly.
I as soon as all that starts to come out, I just give like a couple of defeated nods as I hand the wanted poster back to Phoenix.
Thank you. He puts it back in his pocket, ready to show and do that line again on other people.
Just to clarify, I'm hireable on the behest of this crew. So I was not involved in any of these events. This is all, I'm trying to get by.
Don't be daft, Silver. You've been my best mate for years. You might not have been there in presence, but you were there in spirit, damn it. So I'm not going to let anyone say otherwise, not even you.
I kind of look over to Adrian and just go, I just give I kind of lip something of just, I try and let, I've only met this man. Was that a bar? What? I didn't say anything.
Did you ask who?
Yes. Who do we need to meet next? I mean, it seems like you guys were heading off in a general direction before we got cast down here.
Yeah, what were we doing?
We were going to help Corvus with his little ancient history problem.
Oh, that's right. Well, I would love to, but I don't know.
Well, Attenborough, is there anything we can help you with? If the newest volume's still in the works, maybe we can hunt down some animals for you. I always wanted a treatises. Never got to keep one as a child, though. So sad. Apparently, turning people into marbles is not safe and dangerous to the whole community. And why on earth did you bring that here, Phoenix? What have you done? Oh no, oh no.
I know the nerve of some people. They just don't understand the monsters. They're fascinating creatures, yes, I know.
I met some pretty neat slug species that you can categorize, I guess. I think I know where to find some.
Oh, fascinating. Are they man-eating?
No, they're about this size. I kind of just gesture with my two fingers.
Oh. Perhaps.
Then again, there was those psychic slings that one time. But I don't know if I just hallucinated that. We'll find out.
Did you eat a fish from a weird dimensional cat? As it turns out, those cause hallucinations. Oh, there's a thought. Have you got interdimensional cats on your monster list? We're friends with one. Well, Adrian's more than friends, but, details.
Yeah. This is true.
Do you mean Chess? Oh, he's a fine chap, he is.
Isn't he? Great guy. Great guy.
We're actually, he rents a room from me. Yes. We're very good friends.
He rents a room from you? From where?
Yes. Yes, my house.
He rents a room in your house.
Yes.
So he pays you money. Where does he get this money?
Well, not in money per se, but in presence. He's a very, very interesting fellow, and he keeps some other people's away from me.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yes. Of course, with chess, you have to wonder if it's worth the trouble or not, but it seems to balance out in the end.
You folks have met some strange beings in your time. So what is this about this cat, and how are you connected with it?
Phoenix's smile becomes absolutely massive at that. Well, one of us had a very different connection to the others. Nods toward.
Adrian, do you want to refute any of this? You can.
Refute? No. Well...
Oh, I think I get what it might have been. So, was it that this cat was owned by you at some point in your life, and when you became an adventurer, of course you can't take cats with you on the journey, so it kind of got muddled up, you know, you had to pass the cat on to someone else, and that's kind of how it kept going until it's just kind of moseying around doing its thing, right?
Don't you listen to him, Snowball. You can take cats on adventures, and no one will say otherwise.
Meow.
Oh, I mean, apparently Adrian had different thoughts on taking cats on adventures, but that's just me.
Phoenix, what you doing?
Honestly, mostly trolling Adrian at this point. Yeah, I suppose the question still stood. If Attenborough has anything that he needs us to do, Phoenix will try and convince the rest of the group to do it, because I'm guessing the in-character reason that we're not rushing off to complete Corvus' stuff is Corvus is probably under the weather or something, hence why he hasn't done much help in the fights. So maybe we're waiting for him to recover and need something to do in their spare time.
That's all fine and dandy, but I don't know if you noticed, but we're still stuck on this island. Have we fixed the ship yet?
The gnomes have just about fixed the airship, yes, at this point.
Well, as soon as that's done, we can go and find those slug species I was telling you about, or whatever else we pick up on our travels. Have you ever heard of a sprigmite beetle? They're interesting things.
Are they?
Yeah, they're like, you know fireflies, they glow in the dark? Imagine that, but it's a beetle and it can fly, and it's horrific and hisses at you. Don't like them.
Oh, fascinating. I bet they have an interesting ecology. At the moment I'm actually in a bit of a pickle, as it were.
Not this again. You're not a pickle. Pickles are small vegetables. I'm gonna start carrying them around so you guys know what a pickle is.
I think we're all in a pickle on this, in this particular incident as I gesture towards the ship, but what is your pickle specifically?
Oh, man. I just had a thought. That being, what if the universe was a pickle? Then we could say we are in a pickle, like every single time we ever thought about it.
Yeah, that's literally how the saying came to be in that world.
Again, headcanon accepted.
Okay. There's a researcher out there in the plains that has poked her nose where it doesn't belong, and she's holding me at a bit of a blackmail situation to get her a blender. She wants a blender, of all things.
Did she fly on this weird dog thing? Throws cows into ship fans?
Yes.
Never heard of her.
Were you not for this plan that she was asking you to do? Like, and you didn't want to go along with her plan
No. She found out some personal details about me that I do not want to publish. But if she cannot have her disassertion on which creatures are blendable and which ones are not, then she'll publish something else, which would be damaging to my reputation, as it were.
Wait a minute. Didn't we already meet you before?
Let me... perhaps it's possible. Let me think. Oh. I do recall that, yes. Yes, she dragged me along. And, yes, she threw a cow into an air. Oh, that was you.
No, as I said, don't recall that at all. We were stopping here because we liked the local sand. Yeah, the sand is interesting on this island, so we're stopping. Ignore the gnomes. They are not doing any repair work. Phoenix says, kind of shoving one behind them.
So what were you doing with her then, when you were with the cows?
Phoenix, make a charisma defy danger for that.
Okay.
The sand is interesting here. There's like grey sand. Like, what's that about?
Okay. Dravos will believe you. Alright.
Phoenix looks genuinely disappointed to not be called on his bullshit. It's like, what? No! This is clearly rubbish! Why are you believing me?
So what were you doing with her again? While you were chucking cows into that anonymous ship's engine?
I was advising
Her to not do that?
yes. Precisely.
Okay.
Can I discern realities on this one, because that one's sounding a bit BS-y.
Yeah, you can.
One question. What here is not as it appears to be.
Okay. Yeah, okay. The beard on this guy actually looks to be somewhat fake. Actually, no. Sorry. When he said that he was not going along with it, you get the feeling that that was not entirely true. He was
may have been more willing than he first appeared.
No. No, he was hesitant at the time to go through with it. But what here is not as it appears to be.
Again, man, if nothing is the answer, then I'm quite happy to have nothing as the response. Maybe what he's saying is simply true. That's valuable information to have as players, so I don't mind. I don't feel you have to come out with something amazing, Sean, every time.
Yeah. No, I guess he's being truthful here.
No worries at all.
Yep.
Phoenix will kind of do the subtle signal that he remembers him and Silver having for, yeah, this checks out. Unfortunately, as this is an entirely drug-induced relationship, I doubt this signal means anything to Silver.
Oh wait, yeah, actually, I mixed. That's a good point. I completely forgot I did that, even though I literally just did it 5 minutes ago. I gave this man golden root, didn't I?
You did, and he has drunken the tea. He has drank the tea.
That is good. We have leverage on him. I was wondering, since you said you were writing this book, yes?
Yes, we're publishing a new volume fairly soon on monsters. Yes.
Well, I think it would be a reasonable ask if we're going to be, contributing into your work that we should get a fair agreement, perhaps a cut of sorts from your work. Well, you got your helpers. Surely you would pay them for fine work, yes?
Would you like a copy of the manual when it gets published?
Yeah, sure.
Phoenix, come on.
Sorry. No, we're playing hard to get. Hardball? I forget. One of those negotiation things. I'm going to just go play with some Maaug here. Silver, you handle this.
I give him a thumbs up. I was thinking more we could have a cut of your royalties when you go to publish this book. You said your family is big and well known. I mean, you did just save your life from the horrible massacre worm over there. What's the worm called?
Interdimensional caterpillar. Also, Phoenix pulls a face when you say royalties and mutters under his breath, didn't we just get rid of the last bloody king and queen?
The interdimensional caterpillar worm thing. That.
Yes, and I'm very, very thankful for that. And in return for saving me from that creature, I'm happy to tell you about any particular entities you might be interested in at the moment. But I'm afraid at the moment I have the rather pressing need to satisfy that crazy lady with the
cows.
With the lab coat and cows, yes.
She does sound like she would be a problem for a lot of people flying for the skies. Perhaps we could work together on that, in that case. Actually, you know what, as well, while we're on the subject, do you have any knowledge of any creatures that have any kind of divination to them? You know, that magic that lets you see the bullshit that happens in the world sometimes?
Yes.
Okay, I might need to know where a couple of those are, as a side note. But yes, the cow lady's top priority, and obviously the slug species or whatever, and we could do all that as well. As soon as the ship's fixed, of course. We're kind of all stuck here until
the ship's not broken.
Is it done?
We're still inspecting the sand. Wink, wink.
Oh yes, the grey sand. You see, I have a terrible memory. Actually, I have an absolute terrible memory. In fact, I've even totally forgot The person who hired me to come to this place in the first place as well. It's a funny story. Some wizard in a tower somewhere paid me quite a bit of gold. But what was that for again? It's something to do with the package. You get the point. So that's the point. Just, I don't know, relax, chill. We will help you shortly as I kind of duck away.
At that, Phoenix will step forward. So you know about creatures. Do you know any that are really, really good at coming up with rhymes and puns? I mean, I'm not saying I need the help, but might be fun to have a little friendly competition.
Oh my god. Yes, there is a race of Sibyls in the plane of patterns that are very good at coming up with rhymes and prophecies and other mysterious poems and songs. They can see the future.
Oh, looks like we're going to tick 2 boxes with 1 creature. And just to confirm, they're not like... we're not going to get done for slavery for trying to steal one away from its pack, right? We could convince it to come along. They're not like really, really aggressive or territorial or anything.
I don't see why any of them would actually accompany you, but
You see that dragon? You see this cat that was previously my enemy? Things follow us. We don't know how, we don't know why. He coughs, winks, points to himself, but they do.
For the dragon, follow is a strong word. It exists in our general vicinity.
Hey, we have a contract. I can pull it out for you whenever you need. Admittedly, we kind of not delivered on half our agreement to items, but we have a contract, damn it. We just need to get another one of those guys in the dress. Oh, that's something I can work on. Catch you later, guys.
See, this is the problem when you have 2/3 of the party that are just very, like, comedic in nature, is we usually just sit and spout nonsense for several hours.
Adrian, are you doing anything while this is going on?
I had a couple ideas, but I don't even remember what they are now.
Oh, sorry, Diane.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, right. My thought was, is there a chance we can bargain for more of a cut of royalty from this guy in his new book, if we were to assist him in tracking down this lady that has blackmailed him? And if we are successful, we can maybe, like, ask for 30% instead of 25% or something like that.
Oh boy. Yes. I mean, if certainly if you help him more, he's more inclined to give you guys a better cut. Yes.
I mean, this is my offer to him.
Actually, he hasn't actually agreed to give you any cut at the moment. He's agreed to give you a copy of the book or information on any monsters you guys can think of at the moment.
Yeah, that's about as far as I had got.
Right. Well, maybe this could be the tipping point of that initial decision of letting us in on the actual profits of this book. And she'll pose that question to him. If we help you find your friend, any chance that we can maybe convince you of the copyright deal?
Oh boy, well, yes, if you could in any way get her off my back, that would be marvelous, and I could be persuaded to give you a cut of the sales of my new manual. Yes.
Well, cool.
This is marvelous tea, by the way.
I give him a thumbs up in the background.
Silver and Phoenix, you guys kind of drifted away. What are you guys doing? I forget. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just hanging out.
Okay.
Not really on much. I'm just finding out. I'm letting the pseudo captain Adrian kind of work out what the next agenda is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who is the captain nowadays? I'm guessing it's basically Adrian by default.
Boffin. I'm leaving that up to Boffin.
Who's Boffin?
He's the gnome guy. Up at he hangs out on the ship.
Yeah, Boffin is the navigator, but as far as the captain, that actually hasn't been decided between the existing party members. Since we actually have several people fighting at the moment, we can do a vote on who's the official captain.
Or roll a d4. Roll a d4 and whoever gets the highest roll.
I'm not entirely. I think even Phoenix is aware that him being a captain would be a terrible idea, because his slogan would probably just be something ridiculous, like all female gnomes on the Nautulus will have to wear miniskirts or something, and he'd just get tons of votes that way. Until the dumb gnomes realise there are no female gnomes, hence why we have all these problems. Then there'd be a mutiny. So yeah, I think Phoenix will bow out of this one.
And I don't know airships.
Adrian by default it is.
Can we just remember that time I tried to jury-rig an engine by throwing anything I possibly could into it before it blew up?
And we are still dealing with the fallout.
Yeah. I'm not the most tech-savvy individual here.
I'm trying to teach Snowball how to climb trees.
Pretty sure Snowball knows how to climb trees.
Yeah, but I'm determined to make her better at it. And okay, fine. Snowball's teaching me how to climb trees. Basically, I'm killing time. The cat.
Wally comes up to you, Silver, and says, "The engine's repaired, sir."
I kind of jump at that, and I just look down at the gnome and just kind of gesture towards Adrian before going back to what I'm doing.
A voice calls out from the distance, "It was never broken! We're here for the sand! The sand!"
It is some pretty nice sand, though. Like, seriously, gnome, if you get a chance, like, try... I heard it's good medicinal practice if you shove just a little bit of sand in your mouth, just to get your teeth for that grinding motion. Give him a thumbs up. But yeah, go ask Adrian about the engine thing. That's nothing to do with it.
As you walk away, you see the gnome like kind of sneakily try to put some sand in his mouth and see.
Screw his face.
That means it's working, bud.
Silver, I think you're out of uses of your golden seal poison.
I took Brewer as my level up move, so I could just make it whenever I need it,
Cool.
provided I have the time and ingredients. So I have, because I did that over the course of the first and the second session. I was here. The second and the third session I was here. I sat down and I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, "Yo, can I make some stuff?" And you're like, "Yeah." So I've got 3 uses now.
Alright, cool. Alrighty, so Wally will come up to you, Adrian. Adrian, the engine's repaired!
Did you not hear everyone else? You don't pass this sort of information around so boisterously. If it's fixed, okay. If it's fixed, get it back on the ship, and we can get out of here.
Adrian, just before we go, Phoenix says as we're kind of all gathering our stuff up, a big cavern of crystals. We'd portal into it. We don't need to do anything about that. No, just leave.
She will pull out a small pencil-like amethyst from her pocket and show it to you and say, "Oh, I have a way. I have ways of getting back if we need to. So no, we don't need to worry about it."
Okay. Can anyone make those weird portal thingies with those amethysts? Phoenix says as he kind of starts wandering towards the log.
Actually, is that a good... No. Remind me again, Sean. How did we decide?
That would be a no. We discussed that, and this particular... the particular... portal that you made is keyed to your goggles.
Oh.
By the way, Adrian has spectacles now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the goggles. And as soon as you said Dravos's goggles were cracked, I was like, Didn't I have a couple? Didn't I have a pair?
You did.
And yeah.
See, you have to be the leader now, because it is the Digimon tradition, the goggles head is the leader.
The goggles of leadership. Yeah, she'll push them up onto her forehead.
The gnomes form leaders between groups of them and tug the equipment they've been working on back onto the Nautulus, and the engine starts again, and your airship starts to float gently off the shore.
Backing up just like a minute. Yeah. The purpose of the goggles is not widely known. I just noticed the amethyst gnome on the ship, and I just realized we led like 4 people through that cave that did not have goggles, and I wonder.
You're right.
I'm willing to say they just rushed through and nothing happened, but basically the idea was if you don't look through the amethyst, you're basically harmed by them.
So when Phoenix was asking, should I go collect a bit of amethyst, and you said no, this was to keep Phoenix imprisoned and unable to travel through.
It was more like, no, for your own safety, you probably shouldn't.
Fair. No, Phoenix will probably argue strongly against that when the truth is revealed.
Yeah, that was one detail I completely spaced on.
Don't worry, it's a new mechanic. We'll get used to it with time.
Phoenix actually everybody as you come on board, you notice that there's an amethyst statue of a gnome tucked into one shadowy corner of the hold of the ship.
Go on without me, guys. I have some business to attend to. And Phoenix reaches into his bag of disguises.
Phoenix, what are you doing?
I don't know, just a daft wig, maybe a tutu, a suit of chainmail armour on top, just making it look as ridiculous as possible. This fair gnome statue. And then carrying on as if he totally did nothing.
You recognize this gnome as a very good copy of Jeff.
Phoenix pauses for a moment. Turns back around. Jeff, are you in there?
You see his eyes dart around. Like, oh, let me out.
By the way, can you guys hear sounds coming from the mic?
No.
No?
No? Cool.
Does the statue respond in any way at all?
The statue's eyes move just a little bit as you come closer and start to dress it up. Yeah.
Phoenix stops trying to dress the statue up. Okay. Okay, Jeff.
Maybe Ragga.
I'm gonna get this sorted. Just hang on a second. And he kind of thinks it through. Bardic lore. Is there any way to turn Jeff back to normal?
I'm just gonna go look for Ragga.
I thought I'd waved everyone else on at this point for my fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you just doing that on your own?
Yes.
That was my understanding, so.
You have heard that certain potions can be used to reverse a petrification like this.
I'm kind of.
Do I trust Ragga enough to make a potion to reverse this? Maybe. No, probably not. She turned into a froghead. Could I attempt to spout lore to try and assemble this myself?
I think that's kind of beyond the bounds of spell lore.
Okay.
I do wonder. Pulling on other mechanics from other systems that I've worked with, bards would I'm going off of like a crystal vibration type of basis here, and I'm wondering if there's like some sort of music that could be played that would vibrate the crystal, cause it to shatter, etc.
I probably wouldn't risk that just because I don't want to hurt Jeff.
Okay.
And I get that the crystal's meant to shatter around him, but if that goes wrong, it'll go really horribly wrong. And I don't. Phoenix has, as of yet, not killed anybody. I'm planning on keeping it that way. So, I think I'll go speak to. I guess I'll go speak to Ragga, and I'll bring Silver with me because she clearly trusts Silver more. Adrian as well, just purely because she'll know if we're being magically hoodwinked. But Phoenix is keeping a close eye on her. After all, she seems to know a lot about these weird amethysts.
Sure.
I love how you're like, let's go see the witch, assemble the team.
Well, yeah. What I left unsaid was the fact that you're in front, then Adrian, then me.
Right.
I'd really like Maaug to be here too, but he's currently going over his loot or something, so I'll have to just be brave and only have 2 meat shields in front.
So what is it we're doing exactly?
Well, Phoenix basically comes and grabs you and says, Silver, we've got a job. Then grabs Adrian. So, Adrian, if you have to, you come too.
Mm-hmm.
We need to speak to Ragga. There's been a incident with Jeff.
The name Jeff will resonate in my head, and I'll be like, oh.
He's the short one.
The purple one.
Phoenix says entirely unhelpfully.
The short one.
We stuck Ragga in the mushroom farm, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, yes, in the dirt. So we're still no, I'm joking. Yes, go meet the witch. At least I think she's a witch. I'm not sure. She's just kind of a being.
She turned me into. She made me have a fog's head. She's a witch.
Okay, that's fair. She's a witch.
Even if
Close we're there, I should probably ask if we get that fixed.
While we're there.
Vecca looks up from her cauldron where she's brewing some horrible potion, and
On that note, I lean out the room to everyone standing behind me and goes, okay, right, she's probably... excuse me, Ragga.
I have to concentrate. What do you want?
My friends have a job that they need doing. Something to do with a purple man.
What is a purple man? I've heard of a blue man, but not a purple man.
I turn back to Phoenix and go, she's saying if he was green he would die. But what was it with this purple dude?
He's turned into a crystal. Did you seriously miss him when we came on the board?
I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah, I missed him a little bit.
Also, green's envy. But what's
Oh,
envy got to do with things?
gotcha. I don't know. Something about blue people? It's strange. Colours. Something to do with the man that's now a purple being of unmoving stiffness. Us and our friends, as I give her a deliberate wink when I say that, need your help.
I suppose as a gesture of goodwill, I could save your petrified friend down there. Let me see.
Also, I think Phoenix, you know, the one that sings the song sometimes, and it kind of goes something like that. Something to do with puns. He's quite chuffed being a frog. Actually, keep up the good work.
He whips his tongue out to just get slap him in the back of the head. Then realises he's getting hairball and goes, yeah, starts flowing off like a cat.
Oh, that hurt a little bit. Sorry, misinformation. He doesn't want to be a frog. If we could do something, if it's convenient, you know, as long as you don't have to go out your way for that one, you can turn him back, or just up to you. However you're feeling, you do you, darling.
I'm afraid I can't turn off that curse. It's permanent until it fades away. I can't get rid of it for you, but it will fade away in time if he's not completely turned into a froggy. And
So
as goodwill, I won't complete his transformation into a froggy. Although he would be an awesome frog.
He's already done stunning thus far, I will say that much. So what are we talking, like years, centuries? How long?
I'd say a few more days.
That's fair. I turn back to Phoenix. You might be stuck as a frog, I'm afraid.
Phoenix kind of looks at him, and he goes to point to his elf ears, realize he doesn't have elf ears. Then go, I can still hear. Also, damn right, I'm an awesome frog.
You're a
yeah.
really good frog. You should probably just stay as a frog, to be honest. I mean, I don't know why you're wanting to turn back. I mean, this is pretty chill. I mean, you could jump really high. I haven't seen you do it, but I'm 90% sure it's possible.
He hits you with the tongue again. I keep telling you, it's just the head. Oh, Jeff, you know, the guy we're trying to prevent from...
She's working on it, she's working on it. She's a queen, just let her slay. She's doing just fine.
Wait, if she's a queen, does that mean if we get her to have some children and they kiss me, then I can be the prince? And, well, you do seem to get along really well with her, Silver. Nudge nudge, wink wink.
Oh, I couldn't take that opportunity from you, I'm afraid. That's fiction. I mean, if you need some of that, I kind of lean out the door so she doesn't hear this too much. You need some of that love juice, you know. I pull it out one of my vials and swirl it.
Phoenix seems genuinely confused and taken aback. Does that mean you've already, with her, and gathered up the juices? Oh,
oh no! God.
Oh, you're as bad as Adrian. Phoenix kind of backs well away.
Ragga calls out to you, Silver. If you think he'd be good as a frog, I can complete the transformation. But it's up to you if you think he's better like that or not.
I'd be an awesome frog.
Sadly, I'm afraid, Ragga, that would go against, the inner kingdom kind of morals type stuff. Usually they leave it up to the captain to decide what happens to the crewmates, but that's got nothing to do with me. I ain't a captain. So it's really Adrian's call on that. That's something to do with me. Free will and all that. You got to give the choice to the masters of the people.
Adrian stalks back to the back of the ship, grabs Jeff, and hauls him back to the front and says,
How on earth are you carrying that?
Well,
with great strength.
Bang, bang, just dragging.
Alright, I'm just imagining her going up and just she starts flexing first before picking it up.
Yeah, and me and Silver are just kind of watching it as if to say, What? Why does she cast spells if she can do that?
Because she's the swowmancer, clearly. She casts with her muscles. Sorry, continue.
That's why she's the captain.
Of course.
Oh, no. It's more just hauling through the barrels and the crates, banging in a couple places.
Are we going to help her, or are we just going to leave her to do that?
Adrian has to drag poor Jeff. I think it would be best if we just left her to it. Phoenix says. He goes as if he's about to turn that into an arcane art, and then goes, Nah, this is funny, and shakes his head. Before finally going over and actually helping to just pull it along manually.
Oh, I will legit watch, though. I'm not helping at all. That's strenuous labour. I can't be doing that.
Yeah, we drag Jeff back.
Oh.
It says, frogs aside, we need him cured. If it's at all possible.
Yeah. A few of his, you managed to drag this crystalline statue back to Ragga's little area without breaking off any extremities, any delicate pieces of the crystal. She spends a bit of time to pull together some strange ingredients, frog nose and bat wings, and brews it into her cauldron. She mutters over it. It flashes various colors. And then she pronounces it ready and pours it over the statue of Jeff. And where the brew washes over Jeff, he will turn back into his normal self again.
I'm imagining, like, cracking. It cracks away like a candy coating.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, small pieces of crystal flake to the ground as the potion seeps its way into the statue. And Jeff gives a shake and emerges from his brief petrification as a statue.
Mm-hmm.
He scowls at you, Adrian. You could have warned me.
Warned you of what? Oh, the cave. Sorry. She apologizes.
After I made your spectacles, you dragged me over there, and then apparently I get frozen. I get petrified.
Well, you seemed to know at least what was going on. I mean, at least we did.
You try getting petrified. You'll see what's going on. Brothers, we've had enough of this.
We've had enough of... And I clap a hand over his mouth before he can...
No insurrection. Chucks him out the window.
Right. I won't have any of that.
But we just made the deal with the evil witch to save him. Oh, he's staying on the ground now. Well...
Adrian, what do you do? Jeff is apparently mutinous here.
Uh-huh. Well... I'm tempted to just gag him and leave him in a corner. You wish you were still in your crystalline form, I snarl with a glare as I tear off some piece of cloth from somewhere and tie it around his head, around his mouth.
Adrian,
Uh-huh.
I'm all for chaos and disorder, somewhat, as we know. But this feels a bit dictator-esque, and I'm not sure that's something I'm comfortable getting behind.
The hag will offer to keep the gnome back in this corner here.
As soon as he's apologetic, and genuinely so.
But he kind of has a point if you turned him into crystal. Like, what is he apologizing for? Being annoyed at possible eternal damnation? That seems like a legitimate gripe.
We did free him. I did go to the effort to... I mean...
No, I freed him. You literally just buggered off until I came and got you.
Oh, okay.
let me speak to him. Maybe I can calm him down for a bit. Felix cautiously enters the weird mushroom den, careful to not step on any of him. You can go now, Adrian. He kind of waves you away. We're talking about you, not to you.
Alright. She turns, clambers up the ladder.
So, Jeff.
I'm not gonna listen to you.
Why? I hate Adrian as much as anybody. Everyone knows this. You can ask anyone. Silver, what's the first bit of advice I gave you?
Never trust Adrian.
Phoenix nods. Weird old hag. Admittedly, we haven't spoken about Adrian, but here's my advice. Don't trust her. See, Jeff? Totally against the man, as it were. Yeah. Not this elf. So, come on, I'll take the gag out. He takes the gag out. Now, why are you not listening to me?
Why, what?
Sorry, he was just asking why he wasn't listening to him.
Oh. He's kind of calmed down his breathing a little bit, and is still scowling, but he is listening to what you're saying, Phoenix.
Okay. I mean, come on. The second I saw it, it was you there, Jeff. Did I not rush to try and get you help? Did I not do everything in my power to make you okay?
That's true, you did. So I trust you.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, okay. Kind of. Trust me, maybe. Definitely don't trust Adrian, but we don't need to cause a mutiny here because, let's be honest, Adrian won't think twice about burning us all alive. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be burned alive, or thrown off of a spaceship, off of an airship that's high up in the air. Those are bad things.
Isn't that one more reason to get rid of her?
Oh yeah, but not in the middle of the airship where she can burn us all to death and we can't run away. Once we get into port, just walk away, Jeff. Just take your share of the loot. There's a fair chunk of it now. Just take your share and go off. Do you have a dream, Jeff? Did you want to open a little restaurant or, I don't know, start a gym or tavern or something? Well, what does Jeff want to do with his life?
I wanted to make spectacles.
Yeah, well, see, Jeff, you can take a little bit of money, set up your own little shop. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people buying spectacles, especially now that, apparently there's some means of portaling around it if you have spectacles. So, look, what a great dream. But you need to be alive to take that dream further, Jeff. And, well, Adrian's enemies don't tend to be alive for very long. They tend to be burned, or zapped, or thrown through dimensional portals and never seen again. None of which are good things, Jeff. They're just not. So, keep quiet, keep your head down. Once we reach port, ask for your pay, nice and polite, and just walk away. And we'll all be safe for it. Okay?
He will still be kind of scowling a little bit, but he'll give a grudging nod and ask if he can be released from this corner here that he's trapped in.
For sure, Jeff. I cut him free with my knife. And, Jeff, if you need to tell any of the other gnomes and you think they would like to leave as well, I'm all for it. But if anyone asks, I did not encourage this rebellion. I don't know, yelled at you for a bit and you gave up in the face of my incredible charisma, okay? I definitely did not tell you to where the loot is kept and encourage you to just walk away.
Okay, I will. He'll give you a wink.
Phoenix nods back, turns to regard Ragga, and then just kind of shrugs to himself. She kind of hates me anyway. I think he just walks out the room.
Adrian, as you come up, you notice that Maaug is sort of coming down to speak with Ragga. He's clutching that palantir in one claw as he waits for you to come up so he can go down the ladder.
I realised I had been muted this entire time.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were so silent, Silver, especially when I was speaking.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realise I was muted for that long. But I was just hanging around in the background, piping in little bits here and there. Sorry, I'll let Adrian do his thing first. Hello?
Yeah. I wonder if
It is
Sean hit
done.
his mute button now.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. You said Maaug was coming down.
Yeah, Maaug is like waiting at the top of the trapdoor there to head down when you come up.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you do anything or just let him go?
I'll just let him go. Pardon me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm basically on my way to go see Dravos at this point.
Alright. So, Phoenix and Silver, while this conversation with Jeff is going on, you're gonna see that Maaug and Ragga are whispering to themselves over on their side of the mushroom room.
As elves, are we able to hear? Or as elf?
You can see that Maaug is holding a crystal orb in his claw, and he and Ragga are kind of peering at it and whispering back and forth. But you can't make out what the actual conversation is from there.
Phoenix will kind of look to Silver and kind of motion for him to go over whilst he's still focusing on Jeff and calming him down and that kind of thing. Because I'm guessing this happens not that partway through his attempts to soothe the angry.
I give a nod at that as I jump to attention. For some weird reason, I'm obstinately absent-minded in character for some reason. But I like kind of sliver my way around on the other side of Ragga. I still don't fully trust that dragon, just as a point. Is there anything I may be able to help with?
You have a general skill that's like pickpocketing and like thievery, right?
Yes, I can. I have trap expert. I don't know about pickpocketing specifically. Maybe under. Yeah, I do actually. I do. Tricks of trade. But I need to make a rule of it?
Yeah, roll like 2d6 plus your dexterity, I think it is.
Ooh, I wonder what I'm stealing. There we go. There's my tricks of the trade. Roll that, please. Because I got it all set up and stuff. Oh, that didn't do the thing. Oh, I know why. Because I'm dumb. Why is that not working anymore? How'd that all set up? Am I just doing it wrong? No, it's all there. What? Test it. Go. Okay.
There it is. Cool. 4 plus.
I shouldn't have had to have done it that way. But
Interesting. Yeah.
weird, it's not working properly. Besides the point, I think that tells you everything you need there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it?
What
Does
I
it
don't
say
understand is why the modifier has to be some complicated little equation.
It's because I had to test it instead of just ruling it. 'Cause when I try and rule it, it just does
Okay.
that for some. I'm not sure why it's doing it.
Honestly, I just copy and paste them all over from the first one and then delete the text and rewrite it. Keep all the formula the same.
Is it because I have to show it as a token action, maybe?
Oh yes. Where is that? Tricks of the Trade. I can't quite see it on.
Oh, it's in your big macro thingy. It's kind of near the bottom. Your big, like, macros list. It's quite close to the bottom. It's above, like, the charisma mod, clan mod, dex mod, int mod.
I didn't know you guys had that close to that.
I don't think the rest of us have that.
Anyway, I got a 4 and it's +2, so it's
Okay.
regardless.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, that did a backstab of whatever, doesn't matter. Roll remains the same. So it's a 6 I got.
Alright, so a 6. Okay. You, in trying to sneak closer and try and figure out what these guys are whispering about, you step on a mushroom that explodes into a noisy puff of spores. This is enough to alert them that you are approaching, and they glance up over at you, and Ragga and the dragon narrow their eyes and stop whispering about whatever it is they were.
Oh, I wasn't trying to be sneaky about it. I was just straight up going up and asking them.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's the part where you say, it's okay, I'm a fun guy, really.
Oh god, no. Luckily I'm not Phoenix. Yeah, I was strolling up. Sorry about that. Is there anything you guys need help with, or he's good? Give him thumbs up.
It's interesting.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, kind of gesture at them.
Alright, Ragga is going to give you a glance, and try and see if you are evil enough to go along with what they are talking about.
Funny you should mention that, DM. I have this little thing in my thing. It is called flexible models, and this is what it does.
Oh, what a coincidence! Okay.
So I am totally evil enough. I am the evilest man in this room.
That's not very hard when the other man is Phoenix, and he is literally a walking bastion of good and purity in the world.
Is that an automatic aid and interfere? Just the light of Phoenix.
He radiates. I literally burst into a ball of flame just in his presence. But I also don't. That's the weird part.
Yeah, you burst into a wall of flame for everyone else, and Phoenix just sees this little angelic halo.
Alright, so Ragga will reach out a withered arm to you, tug you over, Silver. Since she does still trust you from the from that golden root that you shoved down her throat
Of course,
last session.
I don't think I've disproved that trust yet, luckily.
Yep. And she will she will pull out the wanted poster again from her raggedy robes, and say that the person who is behind this reward here, Maaug here has a seeing crystal, and it has been somehow attuned to a very, very, very ambitious creature called Vecca. And apparently that person, that creature, is the one who is behind this reward here. And from what Maaug is saying, on top of the reward, if we bring in those 3 people, then we will be rewarded with, beyond the gold, great positions of power in this person's entourage.
Now that's very interesting. So you're saying there's more than one group of people who are looking for this group. What I say, ladies and gentlemen, is what we should do is we should keep playing the field. If there is more than just one group, or if there's even just more than one group interested in this group, what we could do is we can hold our stakes and see if we can find anyone else who has grudges against this group. See what I'm saying?
No, I think you misunderstand. This group here has foiled Vecca's plans in the past, and she put out the reward.
Oh, so she's the one that put it out in the first place. So it's just
Yes.
one person that's the. Okay.
Yes.
I would like to know more about this group first before we act on anything here. I still have a suspicion that a team of this stakes probably haven't had their hand in one honey jar, perhaps a couple. I still stick by that.
That is true. That is true. How do we verify? How do we verify that though?
I have my ways. I know the deeper ends of even the darkest of cities. I can use my persuasive nature and slightly dumb exterior to perhaps get a little further into some of these underground groups and perhaps pipe up more information about this kind of stuff. However, in order to do that, we'll have to hold our stakes on this reward. We can't cash it in immediately, as nice as that sounds.
So we can't just tie him up and sail to wherever this poster says to go.
But exactly, because we might only just get that reward. We might not get any more. I have a sneaking suspicion bards are very well-traveled individuals. And I'm from a far away continent from here. I actually came here looking for a woman who matches the description of a certain wizard aboard our ship pretty well. All I'm saying is that I think there's more than one group of people that are looking for this group. Although I don't think it's exactly the same person as Adrian, I think she goes by. But she could be our in. Like I said, more than one hand in the cookie jar. If we can pick up more information, I guarantee you there's going to be more groups than just that. We need to hold our cards for now. You following?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Maaug will heft his orb of scrying, and say that should we communicate back to the individual that put out this reward, or hold off on that?
That's a good question, and I myself am not sure how to answer that. I feel you two are much more experienced in that side of the negotiation. But as for myself, I will just be looking into the underground and see what else pops up. What did you say the name of this one was?
Vecca.
Vecca, okay. I'll keep that in mind. I'll take a note of that. But this is getting far too suspicious, as you can see. As I gesture out past the doorway, Phoenix kind of just hanging around in the hallway. We're getting
Phoenix waves.
See, he's already looking at us. Right, okay, just act normal. Act normal. I kind of stand back up and like slick my hair back.
Oh, good. They just look like normal individuals going about their normal day-to-day business. Phoenix nods, turns around and walks away.
Yes, Maaug, head back. We don't want to look suspicious. Maaug will creep back up the ladder.
I'll actually speak to Maaug on the way, because I'm wanting to divide up our loot from earlier and see if we've got anything interesting.
And I too am going to head back with the three of them and leave Rafa to her own business. I give her a little wave as I give her that little flexible moral charm with a bit of a smile and a snarky look.
Did you always have double horns, Silver?
What? Dragons have double horns. I don't know, maybe.
No, I just for a second there, I could have sworn you had like little bat wings and a devil horn and this little spiky tail, but I must have imagined it.
You are a frog right now.
It's true. It's really messing with my eyesight. You know, I can actually see all the way around me right now. Like, I can see my back.
That's
It's
really
weird.
cool. Why don't you want to stay a frog, man? That sounds useful.
Because I haven't been able to eat anything but insects for a whole day. It's really weird.
Right, but listen to me here, right? What if you didn't eat insects?
I tried. It hurt. I don't want to talk about it. Maaug? Phoenix kind of like blushes and rushes over to me. So this the loot from earlier. What? And an interesting.
That. Yes, there was some very interesting daggers among that loot that we grabbed from the caterpillar gut. Yeah, there was a couple that might be a little bit enchanted. Yeah.
You see my eyes grow wider and wider as we start talking about these enchanted daggers.
Cool. And any idea what they do, Mr. Wise and Knowledgeable Dragon?
Of course.
Would they allow someone of a finesse nature to stab better?
Like.
There was one interesting dagger that seemed like it would do that, yeah.
Double thumbs up from me, dog. I'm down with that.
Phoenix whispers back to you, hey, you got the invisibility potion. Pause off.
He said daggers. He didn't say dagger.
Yeah, but he needs to get some of the loot.
Wasn't there like gold and stuff?
Yeah, I suppose. Right. Okay, well, based off of our agreement before, I think that we're due 2 of the magical daggers. Does that seem reasonable, Maaug?
He'll lash his tail and harumph, but he will eventually agree that 2 seems reasonable of the handful that he managed to get from the gut of the caterpillar.
I use one of my own short swords as kind of like a prop device for this, and say to Maaug, I think short-bladed weapons are better for backstabbing those that trusts, and I give like the eyebrow.
Phoenix kind of whistles innocently, looking around with like the most glacial look on his face imaginable. What are we talking about?
Oh, just, stabbing our enemies, the generics.
Oh, yeah.
I
suppose
the,
I just
the
The
worm.
day.
Yeah.
Are there any daggers that aren't all about killing people? That's not really my...
A weapon not used for murder.
You'd be surprised how useful they are. For instance, don't tell Corvus, but occasionally I use his extendable spear to like go from one level of the ship to the other without actually needing the stairs. I'll just stand on it and make it lift me up. It's like an elevator.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you used it to like get stuff off the top shelf and stuff.
I'm an elf, I don't need help getting from to the top shelf.
But what about the really top shelf?
Then Maaug will get it for me.
The top shelf above the top shelf. It's kind of, what you call a paradox, but you know how it is. Like they are and aren't the top shelf.
Okay, Phoenix. How about a rubber chicken blade?
Interesting. What does it do?
It squeaks when you hit something with it.
I want it, yes.
That's all it does. Just. Oh, it makes that horrific dog chew duck sound noise.
Yeah.
Oh no, I hate it. It's awful.
Ironically, this is the first time I've actually had a melee weapon since the first session.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about what kind of dagger might not be combat-oriented, Phoenix, but...
That's okay. I believe it or not, the squeaky rubber duck sounds like it could be useful in surprisingly large number of ways. I mean, let's be honest. How distracting would it be to be slapped across the face with a squeaky rubber duck?
That squeaks like one of those dog parts.
Yeah, it would be the perfect distraction.
I mean, we go back to hell.
We're trying to sneak past a location, put the squeaky rubber duck so far away from us, hit it with a rock, squeak! They'll all go investigate. There's so many uses for a squeaky rubber duck sword.
I think that would annoy me in character more than it would annoy the enemy. Like
I see no downsides to this plan.
I'm constantly looking over in the middle of battle, like, was that? Where was that? Where was that again? You hang on, enemy.
I mean, in case we ever get dragged back to hell, and we come up against a Cerberus, and we need to just distract it.
That's true. That would be an applicable use of that item.
They would probably throw you back out of hell if you just, like, squeaked it over and over.
Yeah, just beep, 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 beep.
You start beating one of the devils with it, and all you can hear is like over and over. It's cute.
No, hell, after, like, Lucifer himself, after listening to that for a while, just kind of nods and goes, okay, I see what you mean. Yes, you probably should be in charge around here. That is very annoying. Coming up with new ways of torturing people by accident, just playing with a squeaky toy.
Oh boy, Adrian, were you up to anything here while this conversation went on?
Yeah, I was wandering toward the back of the ship. I was going to talk to Dravos about where he suspects we can find his, quote, friend. was going to be my thing to do.
Oh boy.
Oh, and by the way, I need to talk to you as well, Phoenix.
Huh? Usual drinking spot?
Yeah.
Phoenix nods. Characters have been there for, 2 days in-game, and we already have a typical drinking spot on the ship.
We do. It's good.
I mean,
So I think it's going to be back here with the Goblin Boy. Right? Where would it be?
Probably.
Cool. Oh, so
Or-
I'm here.
Or it could be down in the hold or whatever.
Where's the like least like know-me spot on the ship?
Probably the kitchen, yeah.
Probably just... Can we just go, grab drinks and then head back to our own quarters? I don't think the gnomes invade our own individual rooms.
Do we have those? I thought we just slept downstairs.
We need more rooms here. I need to redesign this. Oh, you guys need to refit this ship with more rooms.
Well, I was just thinking we should add another story to it. Like
Oh, wait!
a sub.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Phoenix nudges you. Actually, I know a good place, and he leads you up to the crow's nest because I remember watching a griffin from up there at one point.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, getting plastered on a crow's nest, and flying on a flying airship sounds like a good way to spend your time.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, we can go up there, and I'll let Adrian do her thing first, and then we can go back.
Dravos is sitting there drinking some more tea that the cook prepared. Hello, Adrian. Hello, my dear. What's up with you?
Well, we were about to get underway. I mean, and given that we were going to go find your friend, I was wondering if you had any idea as to her whereabouts.
Oh dear, yes, her, my nemesis. She is unfortunately probably not in this world at the moment. She hails from the city of Sigil.
Yes, you mentioned this.
Yes. On the plane of knowledge, so... Unfortunately, it's going to be somewhat difficult to get to her.
Via what means are you thinking we would be getting there?
Let me think about that. Does this ship have any means of traveling through the Aethers?
Well, we have an Aethyrometer that our navigator knows more about than I. Possibly it could accomplish this.
Ooh. I kind of like that.
Didn't we also get that weird new artifact that Silver delivered? That was some kind of ship upgrade or experimental technology to do with transport.
Ray sensor, is that what we were after?
Yeah, the delivery that Silver delivered was the ray sensor. That is a prototype of sensing the etheric rays that can pop in at any point above a certain height.
Well, that should definitely make it easier to navigate. Well, navigate on them if we could sense them in some form or fashion.
As far as I'm aware, yes, we do have a means to travel the ether.
Okay.
Or at least
well,
we have a map of it, so... It should make it easier.
Okay. You know, my home, as it were, is actually located in a fragment of the ether. However, I don't think from there we could actually, from my home at least, we could travel to that. Interesting. You know, actually, I do know a way. I'm so sorry. My home has a portal gateway in it that I've managed to link to quite a few places over the years, and I think one of them is actually to the plane of knowledge and the city of Sigil. So it depends on what you guys want to bring there. If you want to bring the whole airship there, then we need some method of doing that. But if we individuals just want to go there, then I might be able to facilitate that.
Well, we could get as close as possible and then walk the rest of the way. Just an idea. Yeah, other than that, I don't know.
Adrian, do you want to examine the Aethyrometer and the ray sensor to see if you can rig up something?
Sure, I don't recall if I've ever learned about it, actually. I feel like we have. But I don't remember anything about it, just because we've largely ignored it ever since we got it.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things that just kind of got like, here, why don't you take this? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. And
Hey, better to have too many weird toys to use than too few.
True.
Alrighty, so the Aethyrometer has these various orbs that are circling the circumference of the dials there, and it has a particular section that has a particular like quarter of the dials that are marked as prominent, and you know, opposite that there's a quarter that's marked as insignificant. So the orbs kind of drift in and out of those areas as those particular influences of the planes become more or less prevalent on your particular world or location.
Okay.
And right now, the planes of decay and war and knowledge are very prominent, and the other planes are kind of scattered around the other areas.
Got it. I will offer to show Dravos this, rather than just running off on him and then checking it out for myself. I'll say, well, let's take a look at this map Aethyrometer thing that we've acquired but haven't done anything with. Maybe you can make some sense of it. And then perhaps he explains it. Just like you explained it. 'Cause
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. He would probably know a bit about what the planes mean, and what this instrument is doing with them. Yes. So yeah, he kind of explains all that. Seems kind of suspicious about the planes of decay and war being prominent at the moment. And he does say that in his estimation that you could potentially maybe hook up this device to help navigate through the Aethers with.
Well, that would probably be more Boffin's expertise than my own.
But this is definitely a very, very interesting magical device that was probably put together quite some time ago. Or it could have been a wish.
Right. Well, it is interesting to finally have it explained. Okay. Well, I would recommend we then see if we can connect it somehow to the ship in general, rather than just having it sitting there looking cool.
All right.
Tell me, are gnomes easily distracted? Could we offer for Jeff to undertake this, or do we dare?
I don't think you should really test Jeff's
I just realized that as well.
dedication. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust Jeff to do it right. He'd probably sabotage it if he were able.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. Adrian, you do have the ability to pull up a ritual space with your demon eyes. If you wanted to kind of circumvent the mechanical fiddling and experimentation.
No, I don't go for that at all. I love the fiddling experimentation bit, but that's mostly me.
What a line to walk back into. You love fiddling and experimentation. That's very good to know.
We almost asked Jeff to do it for me, but then we realized Jeff is probably the worst choice to have messing around with stuff on the ship, given his current attitude toward everyone. Namely,
I don't think it's towards everyone. I think it's towards someone.
Right. Yeah. Maybe I could convince someone else to ask him to do it. No, I'm just going to drop this idea entirely and let someone qualified and less, not likely at all to cause problems, to handle it. So.
Boffin will look up. Do you want me to try, Adrian?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You seem the best choice for the job.
Alrighty. somebody roll a 2d6?
It's 5.
Oh, just as a heads up, I would be wanting to say something to Phoenix when I get the chance.
Mhm.
I would just jump on with it. What?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Right. I didn't want to interrupt your little thing.
No.
So we're up in the crow's nest having a couple drinks, and by this point I turned to Phoenix. Oh, by the way, you know how they were all huddled in the corner earlier? As I kind of look around and make sure that none of them are listening in.
Yeah, I really have to wonder about what passes for stealth in this ship when they think that we won't find that.
Oh, that's good for you, isn't it?
Not.
So you were listening in the whole time?
Shakes his head. Couldn't hear them over Jeff's existential crisis. Poor soul.
Yeah, I once again make a double check. I want to make sure that they're not either listening in. I want to make sure they haven't like fucking, I don't know, put anything on me or anything like that. Because I know that one of them had a scrying orb.
I can squeak my new squeaky toy if you want, and no one will hear us.
There's not. I need to see if I can't nick one of those daggers too. But besides the point, they seem to trust me quite a bit. But do you know someone called Vecna? Vecca? Vecness? A Vec of some kind?
Vecca.
Vecca, that's...
Yes, I believe that's the one Corvus is sending us off after.
Yeah, so she... I hate to tell you this, but your pet dragon might not be your pet dragon anymore.
Oh. Phoenix is genuinely pretty devastated with this. He thought he got on really well.
Yeah, sorry about that, kid.
But
on a much more serious note, I think Ragga and Maaug are both in on this scheme that Ragga was originally trying to pull. It has something to do with his Vecness as well. So, you know, heads up. Don't
appreciate
die.
it. Yeah, always good advice. Phoenix takes a long drink from his glass. I liked you, Maaug. We had a deal, damn it. You kill things. I encourage you not to kill things.
I wouldn't go running off trying to talk to him about it, by the way, because that will not only screw all of you over, but it will screw me over in the process. I've kind of gotten in on this little circle of theirs.
Yeah, I understand. It's just... Well, who knows? He's not the smartest tool in the shed, shall we say. Perhaps I can make him reveal enough that we can have a conversation on something along those lines. I'm looking through my notes here.
Just
Sean,
be careful, 'cause that's a dragon, by the way. Continue.
Looking at it, I don't know if Vecca actually was the person we were going after. Was it? Because my notes are somewhat Is it someone I've heard of or not? Because I thought it was, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm...
Okay, so... Oh boy,
I have a Versa.
Phoenix, no, you haven't heard of Vecca. You might have heard... Oh boy, this is complicated. Okay, alright. So, Adrian, Corvus, and another guy went off to fetch an item from the Ice Queen. And while they were there, they encountered a lich named Vecca.
Oh, I have met Vecca then. I met the lich. She had this. We had this moment where she appeared. Phoenix thought she was in a relationship with Adrian, because that seems to be the case with pretty much every weird entity we come across. And yeah, he basically mouthed off to it until it decided to go away. So yeah, I met Vecca. Okay, I'll change my answer then to, oh, that's bad. Very bad indeed. Well, you know that whole not dying thing? Someone took your advice quite literally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, can the dragon hear us from up here? To be honest, that's the last thing I want to piss off in this whole ship.
No, the dragon is counting his gold in his room, and he can't hear you guys from. He's behind thick walls. He can't hear you guys.
What? So you guys got a wanted poster for what exactly again? I have the worst memory.
As far as I know,
Something to do with city, the big cities.
May have staged a coup and enforced a new monarch on the throne. Nothing springs to mind.
Did it work out?
Yeah, actually. I mean, we got given a ton of gold and then told to never come back. But yeah, we actually did pull it off with no casualties. Well, a few casualties. There was a little incident with Adrian and a fireball in an enclosed space, but we don't talk about that too often.
Look, I'll keep playing the cards, but I am looking for something in return for both you and Adrian.
What do you mean? You're my best friend. Why would you need something in return?
You're gonna help me with finding a certain individual.
Oh, you could have just asked. You're a friend. Of course I'm gonna help.
Okay, well, good.
You and your weird idiosyncrasies, Silver. You had me going there. He punches you in the shoulder.
Okay.
Squeaky boy. Squeak!
I'll try and make sure that you guys don't die in the meantime, you know, with the whole, witch and dragon.
Yeah.
Probably the two worst things you could have combining together against you on your own ship. But
in fairness, we didn't want the witch on our ship. That was kind of your dealing.
I had a thing for that. I didn't think her and the dragon are going to start synergizing. I thought the dragon...
Really? Like, I can tell you, 6 stories where that is literally the main focal point of the tale.
Hey man, I've never heard of a dragon and a witch working together. Besides the point though, I thought the dragon was on your side.
He's on Gold's side. We just kind of made him a better offer than killing us would have been at the time.
That sounds pretty neutral. It doesn't sound like that's murdered this crew for some kind of gain. It's not even money he's wanting. That's the weird.
No?
No, something else.
That's interesting. You might want to look into that one a bit more. Dragons, they certainly seem to only be interested in magic items and money.
Oh, don't get me wrong, they're getting gold. I mean, look at the wanted poster, but that's not the thing that they're after. They're after what this Vecca can hand them.
Oh, well...
Which is some kind of power or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Somehow I don't think combining a lich with a dragon is going to end well for anybody. I'm pretty sure there are stories of shadow dragons and bone dragons, and they're never fun.
Draco liches and...
Yeah.
That would be the worst.
Phoenix nods solemnly and takes a drink.
Play your cards well.
He's serious.
Play your cards well, my friend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Hey, Silver. Worst comes to the worst. Back out if you need to. I'm not having a friend die on my watch. Not for my sake. I'll find a way out. I usually do.
I appreciate the thought, my friend. However, I think I'm all... Before I had even met you guys, I think I had already gotten in too deep.
Yeah, you never told me that story. How did you end up in these parts?
It all has to do with this person I'm looking for. It's a very old friend. She, we were childhood friends. She's a lot like Adrian, actually. It's kind of startling how much like Adrian she is. But besides the point, she likes fire. A lot.
Are you sure you're not talking about Adrian?
Does this friend have a name? Phoenix asked very cautiously.
What was her name? I have that. I have a whole written backstory. Let me go fucking look at it again because I totally forget. I don't know how I managed to forget that, to be honest.
Something blueberry. Wait.
Easy.
I'll find it.
Yeah. The first name. Kandra. That's it. It's a woman called Kandra. She's
I
not
used to
from
go
around
to
these parts. What's her?
Kandra. Phoenix kind of thinks if he's trying to met anyone like that in his travels, but unless she's like famous enough to trigger bardic lore, I imagine he hasn't, so he just shakes his head. I'm sorry, it doesn't ring a bell. I'll ask around next time we're in the port. See what we can drill.
I doubt she's going to be hiding in any kind of a settlement. I think she'll probably be out in the wilderness somewhere. She's kind of lost her mind a little bit.
Well, you'd be surprised. Even the most insane individuals kind of... Oh, sorry. I can't actually whistle, but imagine Phoenix whistling and making the exact same motions. Going to town now and then just to buy supplies and find new ghosts to chase after. And somehow, some way, information brokers always have their finger on the pulse for these kind of things.
Well, I mean, the last time I saw her in a settlement, it was at a manor at a ball, and she burned it to the ground. So...
You sure we're not talking about Adrian? She's just had a name change.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I doubt it's Adrian, though. I think she would have recognized me otherwise.
Well, unless she's insane.
Unless she's insane. That's very true.
Oh man. Do we need to make a bond here to make this actually happen?
Don't you have a secret name? I was actually genuinely wondering whether he was about to turn around and say your original name, and Phoenix would be like,
Oh shit.
You could certainly start a bond to figure out whether Adrian is or is not the individual he met before.
Given my propensity for not being good with bonds, I'm all over that. I mean, I was like, take the opportunity.
I mean, I've already got a bond with Adrian that is already very, very similar to what we're thinking about, where I'm like, basically the bond is she likes fire. Can she tell me about that? Because you know, if the person I'm hunting also likes fire, it's a nice little bit of insight to listen to another person that likes fire.
Mm-hmm.
Which I haven't chased that yet. I need to do that, but we never really had an occasion where I could just sit down with Adrian.
Do you want to do that now?
Well, yeah, I was about to say you can do that now. I'm literally fulfilling my bond with you here now as we speak.
That's true.
You know, the I knew Silver from way back. We need to spend time catching up. This is catching up time.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think I'm gonna get my bond resolved with you as well, because it's. Is there anything from my experiences you found useful?
Yeah, I would definitely say the fact that you managed to get this information to us. We know where Vecca's one putting money out on our heads, and I'll be passing that information on to Adrian, Corvus, etc. So yeah, I would definitely say this has been a very useful discussion.
Alright, great. Well, that's 1 XP already. We haven't even hit the end of the session. Besides the point though, I'm going to continue drinking on the crow's nest and just having general chats beyond that point. But you know, letting Phoenix know of the stakes, and what exactly I'm wanting in return.
Phoenix keeps emphasizing, it's not in return, we're friends. We'll just help you out, man. It's fine. You don't need to do this quid pro quo. That's for business partners and
dragons and crap like that. No. You ask me, I'll get it done. One way or... Ooh, this is a real good whiskey. One way or the other. This would be a very passionate speech and very empowering, I'm sure, if it was delivered to you and not to a seagull that happens to be flying nearby.
Gotcha. And with that, I think that is us done.
Yeah.
I actually don't think mine's is going to proc, because I specifically mentioned it was experiences I've had, and that's just more passing on information. Would be the thing about the lich. Since I have not experienced this lich, this is coming from me just telling people, oh, by the way, there's a lich. Anyway. Anything you want to do, Adrian? Anything you want to do, Adrian?
At this point, no, I need to think about this. But I really kind of like this idea that I'm having right now. Of actually getting a decent backstory built. That would be kind of a cool development there.
Actually, you know what? You hang out up here for a little while, Phoenix. I'm just gonna go back into the ship for something.
Sure thing, buddy.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Wait, I don't think I can hang at the moment, though. I might fall off. Can I just sit here instead?
I just nod and give my thumbs up and go, yeah.
Yeah! He kind of goes, he goes to give you a thumbs up as well and just ends up pouring his drink on himself. Aww. And just kind of starts snoozing away. So yeah, Phoenix is pre-op.
Okay, cool. I'll jump down the ship and actually go look for Adrian, because I think that's actually a great segue to go search out that information.
Yeah.
I go up to one of the little gnomes of the ship, and I kneel down, and actually, I don't know, what would be the least insulting way for me to approach this gnome? You know what, I'll go up to him and pick him up. Excuse me.
Unhand me! What are you doing?
Oh, my apologies. I just gently put him down again. So I just squat down in front of him unintentionally. So do you know where Adrian is? The the wizard.
Yeah, she's in front of this. She's talking with Boffin about putting some new stuff in the ship.
Alright, okay. Thank you very much, little man. I'll catch you later. I get up again and walk away. And I go find Adrian. Like, the actual, to the point. I go to the front of the ship, I give a little knock on the door, kind of swivel my way in. Select my way in.
Yep.
Adrian, I have a very blunt question for you.
She looks up from, helping Boffin turn screwdrivers and adjust levers and knobs and things, and... Okay?
What kind of a wizard are you exactly? You seem to have a little bit of everything going on.
Well, I was a student wizard before all this happened. Then my aunt, the current ruler of Delgar, asked me if I would do, would you call it student teaching, on the job training, to come here and do a little bit of undercover work for her.
Alright. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
No. She sits back on her feet. Yeah.
Fair enough. Was there any? So you said you were just a student. Did you not pick out anything in particular that you wanted to specialize in? Or?
Well, not specifically, although I did tend to. I picked up more on the. As much as I wanted to focus more on the profane arts of wizardry, such as like necromancy and such, it seemed like the Tower of Galangul was more than rife with its students in that particular area. So I decided to try something a little different and went into more the demonic summoning type things.
I didn't realize that the dark arts in this land was so open.
Well, the Tower of Galangul is fairly closed to the rest of the city, but the city has accepted it as sort of a stanchion, a thing that's always been there and always will be there.
Have you ever met a wizard that had snapped before?
Have I? Roll for. I don't know.
I imagine most wizards have at some point. There must be stories about that kind of.
Yeah, that is true. I would say yes. There's been a few that I have noticed that have gone insane.
I don't think I've ever mentioned this before. First, I obviously wanted to get to know you all a little bit better before I go spouting out my agendas. You got to keep your cards close to those that you don't know. But I am actually searching for a wizard of sorts. She is one of those that I believe has slightly lost her marbles a bit. That's actually why I originally came to this land, before I got caught up in your mentor's nonsense. So I was wondering if perhaps you could give me some kind of insight into that. If you've heard the stories, I know nothing about magic. That's completely outside my area.
Interesting. Well, she will look thoughtful for a moment. To be perfectly honest, I don't have a great backstory on her at all. So, she just sort of popped into being. So
Okay, we can dodge a lot of light.
Yeah.
Those...
But it's almost like, since she doesn't have a history, I would not put it past her to have had some sort of weird, mind-erasing event that would basically confirm your suspicion. But I just need to think into it a little bit and come up with something.
Wait, what are you meaning? Are you meaning like...
What I'm meaning is it would be extremely cool if she were this person you were searching for.
Hey man, I'm down for that, if that's what you want to do. You just gotta message me between sessions and we can work something out.
Right. I just have to think through it before I even consider it, because it's like, that's a cool idea. I'm not sure how I will work that out.
I've got, I'm sure Sean knows this, but I've got, the backstory I had sent him was literally like 1,000 words of backstory, so I've got plenty of content there if you need something.
Oh boy.
I can throw it at you. I've even written up a bit about Kandra already and given her kind of like a general like tidbits here and there that can obviously be rewritten for whatever purpose you need it. But
okay.
I have the weave there if that's what you're needing.
Right. No.
To get started.
Well, I also don't want to step on your own story, and so also the possibility that I would have known her could also be a thing.
True.
So.
And that would also be just fine. I think
Adrian,
Mhm.
Adrian, if you want to make a spout lore, you can try and remember if there's a specific person in your past that fits the description of.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a decent, just some sort of opener.
If this conversation might be solidifying stuff that you're not needing solidified yet, it's very easily for my character to just go, oh shit, I left Phoenix up in the crow's nest, drunk and all alone. I probably should go check on him and cut the conversation if you need that out. Just to clarify, like, there is ways we could dodge this if you want to think about this more.
Yeah, probably should.
Or even
but-
you could cover it in a flashback, if we just assume the conversation happens, and you can fill out the details in between sessions.
Mhm.
That works too.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix is a big boy, you don't need a babysitter. He's definitely not hanging out the crow's nest by his feet, going, I'm hanging out!
Free falling. Oh. There goes Phoenix, your only character.
Hey, Phoenixes fly, everyone knows this. We're birds, after all.
They also
He's
die.
fly as hell, my dude. Not even that kind of fly, he's just fly as hell. That's how he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Dressed to impress, the Grim Reaper shows up to take your song, going, nah, you Gucci, kid. Keeps me over there. That's my boy, we don't take him.
Phoenix has several dibs on his soul once he.
Yeah, there are so many competing entities, I guess.
Yes. Yep, Death is going to show up, and then Lucifer's going to be like, wait, that guy's mine.
Also, just to clarify with the backstory as well, if you did want to go the I may or may not be Kandra route, then the point in which I've only mentioned Kandra is like at the start of the story, then it kind of branches off and I go in my own direction.
Okay.
So there's still the freedom there if you need to mold something for yourself.
Okay.
Just to clarify, like it isn't all about the two of them.
Right, but if it comes around that I just can't make something work without severely rewriting everything you've already done, then I'm just gonna say, I probably knew her at some point, or maybe just nothing happened. It's all up in the air at this point, in my opinion.
All right, no, that's cool. Like I said, just I'm literally running Discord most of the time. Even when I'm at college, I have it on my phone and never in.
Oh, yeah, I know that kind of all too well. I'm the same.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, just throwing with some stuff. As for now, though, we could either do the exposition overlooking, or I went off to do deal with Phoenix, or one of the two, or something like that. But either or, we can push on with the story past that point. Then.
Sure.
So what happens next, GM?
Boffin is going to consult with you, Adrian, and say that they're going to need some sort of a magical relay to finally hook up this thing to the airship circuitry. So they've gotten it most of the way there, but they need a magical transformer that will bridge between this thing and the airship.
You do realize transformers and relays are nothing the same.
Yes, I'm just pulling words
Okay.
out there.
Okay.
Techno jargon.
Okay. Do we have such a thing on board yet, or can we cobble something together? Gnomes are really good at inventing things.
They are, but their specialty is not magical things. So, unfortunately, he doesn't think they could manufacture something suitable for this purpose.
I got it. All right.
But we're close.
Right. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do without pulling ritual back out and just forcing things to happen?
If we're taking out character suggestions,
Sure.
I could probably give you the item or its location with bardic lore, and then we could go off and see if we can try and find it. But obviously, that's probably an adventure in and of itself. So it's up to you, Sean, whether you want to have another one prepared or if you'd rather just go the route.
Adrian, I would say that if you can get access to a sizable city with a magical presence in it, that you could probably go out there and find someone who could either make it or has it on hand. So this would be a supply move if we want to put it into the mechanics of the game. So I think you could be able to find it and buy it.
What is supply again? Let me run it just to see.
It's the willpower. Wisdom. Sorry.
I just want to see what the text was for it, though.
Oh, I'm talking rubbish, apparently. Sorry.
Well, in the settlement you are in, you can buy it at market price. If it's something special...
Or non-mundane.
So we are not really in a settlement, meaning we will have to make a journey. Back on the map. Did we know where... Yeah, we do know where we are in the world, as I recall. And we have so many maps of the world that I don't know which one to pick. I like the watercolor one's the best.
I know, but probably the world map right under the notes from the Wizard's Tower. Probably the best one. So let's see. There's the Shattered Continent over there on the right.
Yes.
And then there's the Pac-Man Island towards the southwest.
With the little pie-shaped thing cut out of it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. You guys are kind of... Oh, but this one doesn't have the cities on it. Oh. Anyway, you guys are kind of more towards the Shattered Continent side of that line between the two. So kind of pretty much at the middle of the map, sort of.
Got it. All right. Because my thought is, jumping back to the Silver versus Adrian backstory idea, if we conveniently found ourselves in Delgar for the express purpose of a supply move at Galangul, then that would kind of make that as a convenience as well.
I'm gonna be honest, I've literally no idea what's going on. I don't mean that in a rude way, it's just...
No, it's fine.
I don't know my head about it.
It's basically, what is the chance we can go back to the home city where this tower is?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of boring for you guys to starve to death, so I'm not gonna, say that you can't make it there because you have rampant scurvy and the gnomes are dying by the dozen.
I mean, we could easily just hand wave that and go. We have people. We stop off each night to have people forage, and then we travel by day.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, that's probably.
Or even just stop in other cities on the way there, buy up the food, because we're not short of money. Buying up food is very easy.
The big question being, where are we wanted for being criminals?
Oh, we send Silver out to get it. We don't go ourselves.
Oh, got it.
Come on. I mean, what are friends for, right, Silver?
Very true.
Right.
Oh, but just in case, I might need a little bit extra because I think our drink stocks are getting low as well.
Yeah. You can't have all the rum being gone. More whiskey.
Where's the dwarven village? Maybe we can pick something up there.
Do we have a world
That's-
map or something?
Yeah, under the maps, tomes and notes is under the notes from the Wizard Tower.
That's right.
I should put the cities on this map.
Yeah. We need to triangulate where the hell they are first.
Yeah.
We're on some island somewhere, so we could be that little chain down that way, or we could be the far right chain.
I think the island we were on was so small it didn't appear in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, the island you were on was a little tiny blip on the map.
Cool.
So he said we were pretty much when you hover over it, wherever the what's the word? The magnifying glass, like the upper end of the magnifying glass, would be there.
Oh, I see.
Is that a fair, just based off what you're saying, Sean? Middle of the map kind of idea. That
Yeah.
about right?
Yep, that's about what I was saying. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh boy. Well, guys, should we do the end of session experience calculation?
I think so, because from the sounds of things, we're going to be travelling next session, and then.
Yeah.
So the travel is with the goal of picking up the magical item transporter thing for us to be able to jump it through the ether, yeah? Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that.
And it also sounds like we have a lot of unsolvable information that we'll need to work out before we can really get a good progression going. Because I think that's half the problem right now is the one player that had their big arc going about isn't here.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're all so this session we've mostly just been kind of hanging about a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been nice to develop the characters though and establish a few new bonds and relationships beyond drug-induced friendship.
Very true. And there's some nice backstabbiness going on in the party. Ooh, we got these this dragon and this witch going about the business. Maaug and Maaug. Why did I say Maaug?
It's
Maaug.
easy though. I've not given up on Maaug though. I think he can still be turned back to the light. I'm hoping we can still have our awesome dragon friend
Is
back.
he your father? No.
Oh, not Ragga. Ragga's too far gone.
Oh no, Ragga can die in a fire. But Maaug, I got to ride Maaug into battle as this kind of dragon warrior. I'm not giving that up. not easily anyway.
There's a dungeon world class for that, right?
I do, but I didn't like it because it was a bit too powerful, and B, the dragon had to feast on people's remains and bits and pieces like that, depending on how you played it, and that's a bit too bleh for me.
Fair.
Just break out a goat every so often.
I thought you could choose what its vice was. Like you could choose if it was
Oh,
money.
maybe. I was just in a game with somebody who had it being the blood of his enemies or something like that, and that kind of turned me off from the idea. Maybe you're right, maybe it is a personal...
Yeah, I'm sure it's an instinct thing. Like you can have dragons of different kinds. I'll have a look at it. Actually,
I'll need to get it again. I'm pretty sure you sent me across before. So, in the session,
did we learn anything new or important about the world? I think so. The fact that the party's getting hunted by a lich is a pretty significant thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And then all the individual personal stories also. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? You guys got off the island. That's overcoming something.
yeah, and the interdimensional caterpillar worm thing.
He seemed to be a little bit easier than I would have anticipated.
That's because we had a dragon.
True.
Everyone seems easy when we have a dragon. Which might be part of the reason it's betraying us now that I stop and think about it.
Yeah, I don't know if the worm would count. Like, we didn't really do much of that. We just kind of looked at it.
We looked at it through a couple rocks and then it was over.
Right.
He said, Maaug, I choose you.
I don't think you guys really looted any memorable treasures, but I think making the repairs to the airship and kind of upgrading it to travel into the Aethers is significant enough to gain some experience that way.
Okay.
Alright, fair enough. In that case, I have leveled at this point. I don't think I had any bonds resolved. I could be cheeky and try and take that Phoenix one, but it wasn't an experience I had. It was more of just me relaying information. So I wouldn't count that. And the Adrian one is still question marks everywhere, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I would
that
like
one
to.
either.
I would like to create one, whatever conclusion we come to on that.
Yeah. Like I said, just from a message, whatever you're thinking. I'll even give you Silver's backstory. There's nothing I'm particularly wanting to hide with it anyway.
Okay. No, you can be as discreet as you need to be with that. But at this
Yeah, it's mostly just like a catch up of the story thus far for Silver, since he has already been traveling for a while. But other than that, it's mostly just like the stuff I've already relayed to you in character, so it's not really secretive stuff.
And we did discuss kind of where this fit in as far as the actual geography of the known world so far. So
Yes.
yeah.
I believe we did.
Okay, so if anybody has leveled up, don't forget one of your stat scores can increase by 1, and you can choose a new move. So
I am just shy of leveling it.
I did level up. I think we got 2 at the 3, and I didn't get any bonds, and my alignment still hasn't really done much, because I haven't done much stealthing with it yet. Other than that, I have leveled up.
Yeah, you did fail a lot of rolls, which probably helped.
What, is this the 3rd session where at least, like,
Yeah.
over 50% of my rolls have been, like, less than 6?
It's honestly pretty impressive.
Man, if I did not have DM courtesy on that 1st session, that would have been it. Easily.
That would have been hilarious, yeah.
yeah,
That was
Yeah.
that was some Warhammer Pearls of the Warp nonsense.
Yeah. Though, in fairness, whenever characters die in a Warhammer campaign in the first session, I pretty much just have them use the same character, and they just go off and do the exact same thing again, and we just go, yep, that. Either demonic interference that never actually happened, or I just point out who knows and who cares. Your character can just keep going, because I'm not making someone rewrite a backstory when their character got killed in the first session.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing as well, especially if it's Warhammer 40k, because humans are like so widespread across the galaxy. The odds of there being someone that looks exactly like him doing kind of the same thing is really high.
It's actually surprisingly likely.
I forget how many humans there are in like Warhammer 40k, but they are really widespread. They're
Oh,
they have the
billions
whole-
and billions and trillions. It's
Yeah.
insane number. Because don't they sacrifice like 1 million people a day just to keep the Emperor alive? So that should give you an idea of the quantities when they can afford to do that. Every day, without fail. I don't know if it's quite 1 million, but it's some stupid number.
Well, even when they go to war on planets and stuff like that, like you could have an entire front line get annihilated by orcs, and the next line will just step in and take their place immediately.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have the numbers for that. It's Warhammer 40k is a grim universe.
Warhammer Fantasy's not exactly much better.
True. I mean, End Times Story 1 and 2.
Mm.
Vermintide's actually a really good game, by the way. If you haven't picked that up yet, I totally recommend it.
Oh, I haven't actually. Let me give it a look in.
So what should I put up? My Dex is nice. I like my Dex, but I don't know. What happens if I could put my Charisma up? I like being a bumbling idiot, so Wisdom's gonna stay the same. Who forgets everything all the time? Brilliant. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with. I don't know. I think Charisma actually does make sense because of the amount of under the sheet stuff I've been doing. And then I need to pick the thing. I get a new skill. Underdog's nice. What else is there? Any recommendations from anyone? If they know anything about Thief?
It's been
I
way-
don't, I'm afraid I've not played the class.
Oh, Cheap Shot, that's so good. Shoot first.
Back when Daniel was playing 2 characters because we only had 1 player,
Oh.
he had a thief character named Raffin who took up the one move there where like you can't be surprised by
Oh yeah, shoot first.
things. And that was kind of interesting because he kind of had like a spider sense of danger.
That is a really good ability. There's Thief gets a lot of really good advanced moves.
It does. Shoot first is the one I was thinking of. That's the one.
Mm.
Cheap Shot just adds a 1d6 to your backstab for free. Underdog is the other really good one, but I've been tossing that one around a lot because of just the size of the crew you guys have. Is I don't know if I'd get an underdog proc very often.
That's true.
Right.
And connections actually is gonna. You know what? I'm gonna pick connections because I'm probably gonna need that very soon with the whole Rafa and Maaug thing.
Yeah, that does make sense to pick up that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab connections. Very good. Because that would be really awkward if Rafa was like, "Hey, yo, go find that information out now," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I walk up to the bouncers club, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, can I come in?" And like, no.
Well, as a human, don't you also still always get the +1 to spout lore
Or discern realities, yeah.
and discern realities on criminal? So yeah, you still have a little bit of a.
Well, that's for. I think that's more for knowing stuff, though, is the problem. With connections, it's actually like, if you want or need something from it, you can make this little roll and stuff.
Yeah, right.
But knowing is half the battle. I agree with you on that. Like, that will give me a little bit of an edge. I believe at one point you actually had sent me this nice little place where I can go and find. Do you still have that? The link to that website, just so I can copy paste.
Oh, there's a, what do you call those, SRD on the
Oh yeah, on the Roll20.
I don't even know what SRD stands for. System reference document. Got it.
I got it. It's cool.
You guys do have a little eye tab on your
Yeah. That's what,
sidebar there, but
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I've got it. Alright, well that's me done then, I think. I'm good just to hang out if anyone needs to talk to me or wants to. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much done. I've done level up and everything.
yeah, I'm probably gonna cook some supper here. So
Ooh, what you getting?
great session, guys, and always really fun to hear what you guys come up with.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's always a pleasure, my dude.
Definitely. I'd say we expect the unexpected, but honestly, I think we take that to even that to new heights with this game. I never know what's going to happen, and it's great fun just being along for the ride.
It is the road to El Dorado. We have the musically inclined, and we have the kind of shifty. Remember.
And then Adrian's literally the sun god that the Aztecs would worship. Or
Yes.
the Mayans. Fire and death!
Right. No.
The Incans. I'm afraid my Mesoamerican religions are not great. They kind of blur into one for me, so whichever one worships the sun.
You're right. It was the Aztecs, I think.
Oh, sweet.
It sounds right to me, but I don't know anything about that. So.
I mean, that was literally the whole plot to Road to El Dorado was the city of gold, and they all have to. And I forget the names of the characters. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Disney.
Yeah. I
The
know of it. I
DreamWorks.
don't know it. Does that make sense? I remember the. I want to say Disney, but I don't think it was Disney. It was some kind of animated.
DreamWorks.
Oh, was it DreamWorks?
It was, yeah. You can tell from their animation style, which is this angular, weird, yeah. But.
Wow, well, you have really good perception of that stuff then. That's incredible. I did not catch that DreamWorks had a particular style.
Well, they did for that portion of the 90s, where, like, Prince of Egypt and Road to El Dorado, they all had this one animator, or set of animators that had that style.
That's really cool to know, actually. But yeah, that's what I'm mentioning, because the two main characters from that is one of them is more like logical and kind of like and thinks, and the other one's just more carefree. He's the more musician type one. And they try and pretend to be sun gods for an Aztec kingdom.
Don't give me ideas.
It is the classic go-to. Like whenever anyone says, "What's D&D shenanigans between a rogue and a bard?" They put that movie. 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, honestly, I think we could pull it off. Like, if anyone can pull off tricking a horde of angry, bloodthirsty savages that they were gods,
it would be us. But I think Phoenix would feel quite guilty about it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, how cheap would it? Well, it wouldn't be too cheap to like walk in, strum your guitar, and on the side some other guy slips in and just lifts everybody's wallet or something. I mean,
I'm the good guy. I don't condone the theft.
Right,
Yeah, but
right.
you don't need to know about it though. That's the good thing.
It's true. I could just happily be playing playing the guitar, entertaining. Go. Oh, it's a shame. There doesn't seem to have much money in this village. It's a really poor place. I've got next to nothing whilst bus.
I wouldn't say that's Phoenix. As you can see, I have a fine platter of donations people have made to your beautiful song.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. I guess they were just too shy. It's tough being a celebrity, you know.
God damn it. Well, I mean, as the people who single-handedly thwarted the demons, like, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't know how you have done that.
I'm still trying to think of a way to get them out of that.
What did you just do?
We just negotiated.
Oh yeah, because you guys made that deal, right?
Yeah. We made a deal with the devil, and so far the devil hasn't worked out how to get us back. It will happen. Of that, I have complete faith that Sean will at some point subvert the meaning, and all hell, pun intended, will break loose. But until that point, Phoenix gets to walk around going, "Yeah, Lucifer." I bet.
That must be the biggest pet peeve for those demons is because they're supposed to be all trickery and contracts and hidden meanings and stuff, and you're like, nah, and they're just like, you literally thwarted the demons at the one thing they're supposed to be good at.
Yeah, it's like because he was agreeing to it. He's like, that's not too bad, sure. And it's like, actually, there's a hidden clause in that you weren't thinking of, Lucifer. So I got the demons back with their own medicine. So yeah, I don't imagine I'm very popular down there. Like Sean was saying, when Phoenix dies, there's going to be a lot of people fighting for his soul.
I think if they do manage to find a way out of that situation, the person they were coming for is you.
Yes, it is.
Without a doubt. They aren't even going to be doing the stereotypical, ooh, there's demons in the surface world, they're murdering towns or whatever. They're just going to stroll on through towns and go, have you seen this man?
It's like, why are the demons not attacking? They have a true enemy there.
There is a greater threat to this land. A silver-tongued guard.
But didn't he walk through with a clown nose and a frog head earlier? Yes, my son, but do not be fooled.
He is the trickster god.
Man.
I will see you guys in a fortnight.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I'll run away as well then in that case.
Alright.
Great hanging for you. Phoenix, keep being chill, bro. And,
Same to you too, alright? Have a good one.
and get back to me when you can about
Sure.
the backstory stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright.
Alright, catch you, man.
Yep, take care.